Plus. Live sports.
In 87 days since we've had big-time college football in Central Texas. That means the suspension bridge, all kinds of bears, and the rush of the Baylor line. It also means two teams primed for an old-school Texas shootout. Big 12 now on ESPN+. Baylor is primed to welcome Texas State here in Waco, Texas, and we couldn't be more excited to bring it to you. Welcome upstairs, everybody. Pete Souza alongside LD McClain. Big-time matchup today, LD. As far as Texas State is concerned, head coach GJ Kinne, he's kind of undergone a little bit of a rebuilding project. He's got some help, too. 53 transfers.
Yeah, let's be honest. The landscape of college football has changed with the portal and NIL. And so Coach Kinne in this administration recognizes a golden opportunity to add players and get this program good pretty quick. I'm anxious to see how that finished product looks tonight.
He says they are ready to shock the world. One guy in his way, Baylor head coach Dave Aranda. He talked to you before the game. He said he is excited about this team.
I think he has every reason to be. When you've got a core nucleus of young players, of course some guys transferring in, now you've got some experienced guys in that locker room. And being on good football teams, if you've got a good locker room, you're going to have to be a good team as well.
Well, Baylor is primed, like we said, ready to take on Texas State. 99 degrees here in Waco, Texas at kickoff. Not too bad, right, LD? If you're from Texas.
Hey, that's Texas football for you, man.
Baylor has won the toss. They will defer. The first of 8 home games this season for Baylor. Next week, they will welcome Utah, a big-time game for them with a new and upcoming Big 12 opponent. But today, it is all about Texas State, LD. I want to go back, by the way, into your history. A player at North Texas. In 1999, you guys took the trip to Lubbock, Texas to take on Texas State. You were a 30-point underdog, and you pulled off the magical upset. What's Texas State thinking if they're going to get this done?
So you and I chatted before the game. You know, you got to have that mindset of, hey, it's you against the world. And I remember back then that the guys felt loose. We just felt like it was another day, and we're out here just playing football because nobody's expecting us to do the unthinkable. And all it takes is one good play here, another help here by your teammate, and somebody just making a play. Next thing you know, you realize I am just as good as these guys in the other colored jersey. Good things tend to happen. That's how you come into an opponent's building and shock the world.
Jack Stone getting ready to set us up here and kick it off. Cole Wilson back deep for the Bobcats. Wilson will take it out of the end zone. He's explosive across the 25 and thrown out of bounds. That's where the Baylors will start. So 1st and 10 for a high-octane Bobcats offense.
Yeah, when you look at this offense, and people that know college football, it's going to look eerily similar to UIW, the incarnate word at the FCS level. And one thing to notice about it, Pete, we talked about with Coach Kinne during the week, and obviously the coordinator, Mac Leftwich, is the splits by the offensive linemen. They're trying to get their guys into space, put stress on this defense to have to tackle from sideline to sideline.
That is Ashton Hawkins in motion. We will get to him in a little bit. Quick pass by TJ Finley. And a nice catch and run by Joey Hobart.
Now, you look at TJ Finley, everything physically jumps off the charts. He's 6'7", 255. He's got a big-time arm. He knows this offense. He knows how to run a pro-style spread offense.
TJ Finley goes up top, just off the hands of Ashton Hawkins. He had him.
That pass was on the money. I don't think you can come in, have 2 plays scripted better than what the Bobcats had there. And look at this, Pete. Play action pass. We talked to the coaches. They're trying to set up the vertical attack if it's there. And that pass, that probably should have been a big game, but almost could have been a touchdown there.
3rd and 7. Finley going to be working out of the shotgun for most of today. Dances out of the pocket and throws wide, incomplete. 4th down, Mike Smith Jr. In camp, Coach Aranda called it the Mike Smith show. He applies the pressure, Finley heads to the sideline.
Well, when you played the Baylor Bears this year with new defensive coordinator Mac Powledge, you better get ready to be heated up on 3rd and medium. That was 3rd and 7, and you got to anticipate an extra guy coming in the box. That time it was Mike Smith Jr., the extra guy, to make that pass get off the mark.
3rd, you mentioned medium. We are well done up here and down on the field. Flirting with 100 degrees here on a Saturday afternoon at 6 p.m. Central. The Australian footballer, Seamus O'Kelly, will give it a ride. Josh Cameron with the fair catch at the 35. So for the first time this year, Baylor and the offense, directed by Blake Shapen, will take the field. Coach Aranda said he has been a leader in camp, getting in guys' faces and also loving on them afterwards. Coach Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator, said there is nobody on this offense he is more excited to see than Blake Shapen.
And let's make no mistake about it. Although they had a down year in terms for Baylor, he still threw for 2,700 yards or more. This kid can flat out throw the ball.
And he'll throw downfield on 1st down. And an incredible catch by Hal Presley. Helmets off, finger pointing, 1st down Bears, 40 yards.
Well, that goes against everything we talked about. We expect Baylor to come out and just pound this defensive front of the Bobcats into submission to set a tone. And here it is. Hey, you've got the matchups you want. They come out in 2 tight personnel, and you've got man-to-man on the outside. And how about the catch by Hal Presley? We talked to the administration here. They said his upside is off the charts. And right there, Pete, showing you some of that skill there.
Cameron's in motion. Baylor goes right up the gut. Richard Reese, check that. Dominic Richardson checks in for Richard Reese.
Yeah, they've got some depth at that running back position, but everybody knows about Richard Reese, and pretty sure we'll see him, the reigning offensive freshman of the year in the Big 12.
Coach Aranda said, hey, we're going to be a 2-headed monster, and whoever gets lathered up, they will be the go-to guy for that game. See who gets going early here. We've seen them both play, Richardson and Reese. Shapen underneath for Dabney. And he is perfect today. A quick 2 for 2 to start.
Yeah, this is a nice call here. And this is predicated by the formation. Now you've got this defense spread out. They're in zone coverage. It's an easy route there by the tight end. It's an option route. All you got to do is turn around. The quarterback reads it perfectly, Pete. And that's what I'm talking about in this offense. Everybody knows that with this big offensive line, they're running the ball. But if they could develop that intermediate passing game and then take their shots like we've seen, this offense is going to be legit.
Coach Aranda says he has built trust with receivers. We saw it there, getting the ball to Dabney in that tight window. And here's Dominic Richardson, almost getting in the end zone, running over Torrey Spears.
Boy, they really set up a wall to this left side. Campbell Barrington, number 53. He gets out in front. Not only that, you see Gavin Byers, he's pulling. And there's nobody out there, Pete, to even get to the running back before he even gets inside the 2-yard line. And here they are on the opening possession, knocking at the door.
A 15-yard carry for Richardson, the Oklahoma State transfer. Flags are down as we get a look at our referee, David Alvarez.
5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Yeah, that's that first game stuff, right? You know, you can simulate everything you want in practice, fall camp. You can do it in the off season, but something about when that opposite color jersey gets in your face and you've got thousands of people in the stands, those old tendencies and those things tend to show up in the first game.
Reese dances over the right side, maybe a yard.
Wow, that's really good defense. Number 0, Brian Holloway for the Bobcats. Boy, he stepped this thing out from the very beginning. When he sees an offensive lineman moving, a lot of times, those linebackers are taught just to go, shoot in between them, and you saw Brian Holloway there really throw the timing of that run play off.
Two wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Shotgun formation to shape it. Drifts to his left and finds the tight end, Jake Roberts. Joshua Eaton on the stop.
That's outstanding defense. Outstanding. That's a tough tackle, too, because now you're a cornerback. A lot of times you'd want a safety, certainly, to come up. But you saw right off the bat, Alonzo Edwards Jr., 5'11", 190, take down a bigger offensive player there.
3rd and goal. Chapin with time, running out of it. Out of the back of the end zone. Was looking for Monterey Baldwin.
Hey, if you're Texas State, you got to feel really good about what your defense is doing right now. More than likely forcing a field goal attempt here. But your backs were against the wall, and this offense was at the 1-yard line with a fresh set of downs, and your defense bowed up, and now you're forcing a field goal attempt here.
Isaiah Hankins. 23-yard field goal attempt is good, but like you said, LD, GJ Kinne has to like the goal line stand. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus, coming back in Waco. 3-0 Baylor. We mentioned, and we're about to see the Bears defense, that they had some inexperience and some youth at the cornerback position. They also have it, LD, at the Bear position.
I mean, that's pretty neat. You see those Bears, I mean, Coach Aranda, what a job that he's done. And everybody talks about the bookend losing seasons that kind of right around that Big 12 championship in 2021. And, they've got the recipe. The recipe that he likes is pretty simple. And, we've always heard him through the offseason. You talk about the truth and the love, and that's kind of what he's talking about. You've got to be truth with yourself and identify some of the areas that you lack in. And then you got to love yourself at the same time, so you can put it all together. You can't have one without the other.
Jack Stone gives it a ride. This time, nothing Cole Wilson can do about it.
Well, Pete, when you look at this, the coverage, they're putting brackets on the inside receiver. That's where Chapin wanted to go first. But when you put those brackets, that automatically forces you to, as a quarterback, to go to the next level. Well, the field is also a defender. It shrinks down. That's why he had to throw it out of bounds. Nobody open.
On that last possession, we saw Baylor an explosive 40-yard gain on their first play. Just 19 yards on the next 7, which saw them settling for a field goal. TJ Finley would like to improve upon what was just a 49-second possession. Calvin Hill right up the seam, close to a first down.
Yeah, that's a real nice run. That's what this offense can do. Everybody wants to make the noise that they're going to throw it 40, 50 times a game. Let's make no mistake about this. This offense is based off runs concepts from Gus Malzahn and the old offenses back in the day at the Auburn Tigers. They like to spread you out, get those lanes, and then pound you.
Calvin Hill with the convoy to a first down. Garmin Randolph on the stop.
Yeah, here it is. This offensive line is very big. They average 330 pounds up front. That's going to be a nice matchup against the front 7 of the Baylor Bears.
3rd straight run for Calvin Hill. That one for no gain. And there is TJ Franklin, Temple, Texas native, playing close to home in his 5th year. Finley gonna air it out again. That one was intended for Drew Donnelly, but it was broke up by Tevin Williams in his first start.
I mean, this is just outstanding coverage. And that's the thing with this defense. You know, Matt Powledge, the defensive coordinator, has to be able to trust these defensive backs because he's going to bring pressure. And so these guys have to play on an island, and they've got to be dudes. And that time right there, Tevin Williams was a dude.
Finley throws a strike, and the excitable Cole Wilson nears the 35. 22-yard gain.
That's fantastic. You anticipate the blitz, they change up the coverage, pass protection was outstanding, and you just threw a strike.
Joey Hobart, they call him Joe Dirt.
I like that.
He's another one of those guys. They call him Joe Dirt because as a defensive back, just a bright guy, Sean Holton says, he plays dirty. He runs dirty routes, and he doesn't have any gloves on. They always talk about that, and he's a great guy for TJ Finley to target early in the game. 12 men on the field, they move forward.
Yeah, Pete, you see right there with the tempo, right? Now you're not allowing the defense to do substitutions, and if they try to sneak a guy in, you're trying to go so fast, the miscommunication, and that's a cheapy 5 yards there for the first for the offense there on first down.
Play fake, right down the seam, a great throw. Connor Fox inside the red zone, inside the 10, 21-yard gain. The tempo could wear the Baylor defense down. That's Ishmael Mahadi, short game.
And so this team, you know, last year had a lot of talent. They just were not effective in execution. This is all about execution. The play action pass. You slip the tight end up the seam. You've run the ball well on this drive. Those linebackers have to bite, and the tight end goes free uncovered.
Hawkins in motion. Mahadi wide open. And the shootout is underway here in Central Texas.
That's a beautiful play. That's pretty. They got exactly what they want. And as a quarterback, you practice that play all week, hoping to get that look. And Pete, when you get the look, your eyes light up like big old saucers. And you just want to make sure you can get a pass that he can catch. But how about the resolve? This drive in a hostile territory, you are the underdog, and they executed to perfection on that drive.
3 straight completions for TJ Finley on his 2nd drive as a Bearcat.
Well, you got to have some big-time plays if you're going to do the upset. This team came to play, and they're on the board with TD.
Big 12 now on ESPN+. A good look at the Baylor faithful on the berm at McLean Stadium. But they trail early, 7-3. Pete Souza with LD McLean bringing you the Big 12 action, and we are loving it in week 1. Matthew Valesco set to give it a ride. Coming out of the end zone is Corey Gordon. Darts across the 30-yard line where he's cut down. All right, last drive for Texas State. LD Finley, 3 for 4, 52 yards and a touchdown.
Well, they were simply outstanding. I think the offensive line protected. They mixed in some runs, and then they mixed up the defense and got them out of position. This offensive concept is exactly what UIW did a year ago, which led Division I football with 51.5 points per game. They flat out can get it done. They're off to a good start.
as we see Blake Shapen, 3 for 4 on the afternoon for 50 yards. Presley's in motion, but there was movement on the defense.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Tate Williams. I think he was the first one to flinch.
77, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, they're trying to work in some of these young players, Pete, and you know, when you do that, you get some guys getting some minutes early, you get those mistakes.
Third penalty of the afternoon on Baylor, just 7:27 left in the first quarter. Dominic Richardson running over defenders for a short gain. Dan Foster on the stop.
Well, you called it right. I was just about to say, Dan Foster stuck his head right in the middle of all that traffic. The linebacking play right now for the Bobcats, they're starting to get going right now. I know this is early in the ball game, but these guys are starting to snuff out some of these run schemes that the Baylor Bears want to get going.
Play fake for Shapen. Heat coming right up the middle from Brian Holloway. Yates with the grab and the leap.
Pass complete to Kevin Yates.
Yeah, Pete, I can't tell you how good Shapen was on that. Most quarterbacks' tendencies is to kind of duck this pressure here. Watch him elude the pressure. He stays in there, delivers a good pass. That's outstanding. That's what you're supposed to do, because there's typically one guy coming free. We can't walk everybody up front. You always account for the free releaser as a quarterback and get it out.
Bring up 3rd and 6. Pocket collapsing. Shapen, who can run, escapes. But he's got nowhere to run after he gets out of the pocket. Torrey Spears brings him down. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, and this is just an old school blitz. This is where they just try to inundate you basically man-to-man, and hopefully they can get a couple of guys to kind of squirt free. And at the beginning, Pete, the offensive line picks it up, but the relentless pursuit to the quarterback flush Shapen out, and that's in essence basically almost like a sack.
The big fella, Terry Webb right there as well. Back deep, Joey Hobart. Palmer Williams will let it ride.
That's not a good kick.
Short kick for Texas State. Baylor gonna get another crack at it, trailing 7-3. Texas State up 7-3 early on Baylor as you see Blake Shapen looking for some answers right now. 4 or 5 on the day. And there is head coach GJ Kinne. And there is the numbers. Texas State, 53 new scholarship players this season. To give you some context, Baylor has 13. Texas State, second most in FBS behind Colorado, who pulled off a stunning victory today on the road in Fort Worth.
It was fantastic. I had a chance to watch that game today, and yes, you can see all those players make impacts today right away.
Mike Smith. Coaches talked about him a lot as he drags Calvin Hill down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1. Finley, play fake, loses the football. It's on the ground, and falling on it is Trey Wilson, the freshman. Baylor in business.
Well, sometimes you just need the ball to bounce your way. In this defense, they kept after it, staying on track. Here's the first mistake of the redshirt sophomore. Got to protect this football, but there's that big paw. The big paw slapped right at the end, and then, like you mentioned, Pete, the freshman Trey Wilson gets the scoop, and that's what this defense needed. They were a little bit on their heels, but they needed somebody to make a play, and now it puts their offense in prime position here. Yeah, here it is. It's just a 4-man rush. You got to stunt. And here it is. There's the pressure. You see big number 59, Devontae Tizzino. He reaches that paw in there just to keep playing. He was blocked too, Pete. That's the thing. He was blocked, and yet he still played on and made a play for his team.
Devontae didn't have to come far to create those fireworks, a native of Killeen, Texas, just down the road. Chapin, now he faces pressure. Flushed out of the pocket. Chasing him out of bounds, and a nice play.
This is all Jonathan Patke, the defensive coordinator for the Bobcats. If you know anything about the Manny Diaz philosophy defensive tree, they're going to bring pressure from that wide side of the field. For an offense, that's the tendency to bootleg to the wide side. He ran right into a blitz. Ben Bell was the first guy there, and he could not make it back to the line of scrimmage.
Second and long for Baylor. Chapin throws a dart. His first target for Keytron Jackson, the high-profile transfer from Arkansas. Josh Eaton in coverage, but a little too much contact. We got a flag.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I thought maybe they were going to let that slide.
Defense, number 1. Automatic first down. Just follow the foul.
I think that's a pretty good call. Probably could have been called right away. Here it is. This is what you're looking at. You see the defensive player. He's got his hands on him now. The ball hadn't even got there. You know, those cornerbacks, Pete, they're taught to do what you can do until you get caught. And that time, Eaton easily got flagged there.
Josh Eaton doing a little too much. The Oklahoma transfer hit with the penalty. Hal Presley, jet motion sweep, knocked out of bounds by that able-bodied Texas State defense led by Eaton.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's still early, still first quarter. Can Baylor commit to what they always like to do, which is run the football? We've seen them throw the ball a little bit more in this game so far than what they typically would come out to start a game by running. And so right now, will they be disciplined and stay to their scheme?
Flags down again. Could be the 4th Baylor offense.
Yeah, you had a bunch of guys on this offensive line moving.
Offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Yeah, that's got to be concerning because when you're a quarterback, you got to mix up the cadence, right? You don't want to go on 1 every time. You don't want to go on first down. You don't want to go on 2. You got to mix it up. But these offensive linemen have to be cognizant of that. And right now, the cadence and the tempo and the timing is throwing them off a little bit early.
Empty backfield with motion from Reese. Keytron Jackson, his first catch as a Baylor Bear. Not much going on right there. Nice play by Caleb Ford-Dement.
And this guy's going to be a player in the Sun Belt Conference. He will be recognized as one of the top defensive backs in this conference just because of his physical nature. And he showed you there coming up and making that play by himself.
5'11", 190, transfer from Washington State. Missed all of last season with an injury. It's been 609 days since Ford-Dement has played ball. Looking good so far.
Yeah. That's a big down and distance here for the Bears. I think they've got to at least give themselves a field goal opportunity.
We got movement again.
Oh, wow.
And what is usually a tame, encouraging Baylor fan base.
Start and snap.
Letting the team hear it.
Offense number 53, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
4 false starts,
Wow.
LT.
That's it. Yeah, there it is. And there's Tate Williams. He's the first guy that you recognize is jumping off. Pete, I can't help to think that that's the defense causing that because they're not sure where the pressure is coming from. And I think this offensive line is a little bit spooked right now, and they're not communicating and missing out on the snap.
Underneath, Richardson had to climb the ladder. Behind the line of scrimmage, they'll call it incomplete.
Hey, this defense is playing some ball right now. This defense is one step ahead of this offense in this first quarter. We got a sample size right now, but you have to credit Coach Kinne and his defensive staff, Coach Patke, the defensive coordinator, and his guys executing what they wanted to do, especially in this first quarter.
Hankins will try to put it through from 53 yards. The lefty puts it through the uprights. So Baylor inches closer to Texas State, but hey, GJ Kinne, a round of applause for his resilient defense. Another big stand for them.
Yeah, and that's all you want, right, from your defense. You want your defense, when you absolutely need them, to come up and make the opposition have to knock down a 50-plus field goal. I think you will take that every single time. If you're Coach Kinne, we can live with that. And if they can hold that form, they've got a good chance to really stack upon and add to this lead.
There is Coach GJ Kinne talking about San Marcos, where Texas State is. He said, I knew if they got the right guy, they could win. So far, he's showing us that he is the right guy.
I've always thought Texas State, San Marcos was a fertile ground for recruiting, right? They've had 3 coaches in 10 seasons, okay? So you're trying to do the right things. Why not go to GJ Kinne? He's a Texas high school football legend. His dad is a high school football legend. He can recruit these parts. He's been successful, and so far so good here in 2023.
Cole Wilson shoots through the kick defense to the 30-yard line. Caleb Parker on the tackle.
Boy, we really had a good time talking to Coach Kinne this week, and he's laid back, man. He gets it, right? And we can appreciate that, but I think he also appreciates what we do as well.
He appreciates TJ Finley, too. He said the moment he saw him go in the portal from Auburn, he found his number, got on the phone with him on a Sunday night. Finley comes to visit Texas State on a Wednesday and commits, cancels his visits to other big-time Division I programs. Coach Kinne said he was fist-pumping all the way.
And rightfully so. This kid has got some arm talent that is off the charts.
Of course, Kinne's father, Gary Joe Kinne, as we see a 3-yard gain from Ishmael Mahadi, a linebacker at Baylor. And GJ's brother, Landry, is a wide receiver on this Baylor team.
Yeah.
The blood runs thick.
Yeah, that Kinne family, they got some clout in this state for sure.
He told us he talked to his dad. His dad kept texting him, this is Wednesday. I can't wait, I can't wait.
Yeah, he was excited. He was trying to tell his dad, hey, Dad, it's all good, it's all good.
And he said out of respect for Coach Aranda and the Baylor program, he barely talked to his brother.
Yeah.
Big time 3rd and 3 coming up. Let's see what Finley can do. Mahadi going all the way for his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. 65 yards.
How about that? This team came to play. That's all you can say. Bobcats came in here on a mission, and they were focused. And right now, through the first part of this first quarter, they're prepared, and they are the aggressors in this game. And it starts with the offensive line. That has set the tone in this game. We talked to the coaches this week. We talked to Coach Mac Leftwich, the offensive coordinator. He said they run to set up the pass. We have the play-action pass, and if we can run it, that's going to set up everything. And that shows you right there, leaning on the offensive line for a nice rushing TD. Here it
Mahadi has legit 4.4 speed.
Look at that. Everybody's manned up. Look, you've got a white shirt, a white hat on a yellow hat. That's all you want to do. I don't even think they got that good of a look in practice this week. I can guarantee you that. But that's exactly what they wanted. And for a team to have the confidence on 3rd and 3, maybe even a long 3rd and 3.5, to run the ball, that says you have confidence in your guys up front. And you know your back is going to hit that hole at the right time.
The 65-yard touchdown, a career long for Mahadi. Coach Kinne told us he takes the top off of the defense. Yeah. Top back right there.
Yeah, he's got some gas. I mean, I'm telling you, they've got some weapons. And we talked a little bit about it. Texas State didn't have a lack of talent to begin with before Coach Kinne got there. I've always thought they've had the talent. Now he's brought in, we documented the transfers. Okay, now you've got some experienced guys that were ballers at other campuses, and for whatever reason they're here. You insert that into the scheme. Okay, let's get there. You're seeing the culmination of that in a short amount of time frame from when he got on campus in his recruiting class to spring ball and to now here we're kicking off.
Gordon takes that kickoff across the 20, tries to step out of a tackle and is thrown down at the 26-yard line.
Now, if you're Baylor, you got to sit there and say, okay, this is not going to be a cakewalk. We are in a dog fight. We have to execute, and it's cliche. We got to go out here one play at a time, pick up first downs, but we got to be disciplined. We can't have false starts. That's the worst thing that will set back a drive. It will kill drives every single time. They got to go to work here.
5 penalties for the Bears for 25 yards. Pistol formation has Reese behind Chapin. Chapin to Jackson. Big time coverage by Eaton.
Just not a lot of room. There's not room at that next level of the defense. You know, you're expecting soft coverage on first down. That's the best down to throw the ball, but here it is. These defensive backs are in the chest of these receivers and making it tough. And if you want to run in there and run that slant, well, here comes one of our linebackers flying across, letting you know, hey, you better keep your head on a swivel because here I come.
Yeah, there is Eaton, but you may have saw come into frame Brian Holloway.
Previous play is under further review for possible targeting.
No, it crossed my mind. That absolutely crossed my mind. Brian Holloway, we talked about him flying in. He did go a little bit head first. Don't know about it. Don't know. Again, there's a lot involved. Okay, so the player is upright. He kind of is going down anyway, so it's not like Brian Holloway stooped down low. Watch Brian Holloway stay level, anticipating the receiver is going to stay high. And I think the officials have to keep that in consideration. Here it is here. See, he's staying up, and unfortunately, it does go towards the head neck area. This is one of those 50-50 calls, and I'm glad I'm not the one that having to make it.
Well, replay official Richard Brown is actually the guy who's on the spot right now, looking it over. Holloway, they call him Captain America because of his attention to detail. Tried to be damaging there, maybe a little too damaging.
That's a great nickname. If you're called Captain America, that's pretty. There it is there. That head and neck area, that's the one, right? That's the one little thing in that description there that could cause him to be ejected from the game. That's the only thing that I could think of. Now, he didn't dip down per se to go after the receiver. You know, you're anticipating that receiver to stay tall.
So David Alvarez, our referee.
After further review, there is no targeting. Second down.
Okay.
They get it right?
I think so. I think they have to anticipate, you know, the defender stayed level. He didn't try to go down, and that receiver, his gait kind of dropped down. So, yeah, you got to take that into consideration.
Second down.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
They got to at least try to get something here. You want to at least get 4 or 5 yards here. So your third down is not 3rd and 10. I don't think you can make a living right now the way this defense is kind of bringing pressure from all different ways.
Richardson bangs his way to the 25. 4-yard gain.
Yeah, I just think they're dominating the line of scrimmage. That's Ratcliffe there. And that was the one question. With this defensive line, could they develop? Right now, I think we're seeing it. They're a little bit undersized. Now, Ratcliffe, 6'3", 280 pounds. But they're a little bit undersized across the board. Right now, they are getting off blocks and making those plays.
Baylor under 6 yards on their last 7 plays. Chapin chased out of the pocket. Nowhere to go. Caleb Coleman delivers the blow and sits him down. Loss of 9.
Here it is again. This is just doing your scouting report. They're bringing pressure from both sides. And now you're asking a running back to block one of the free safeties coming in, who's a little bit bigger and athletic. That's a tough block, Pete, for a running back to do a one-on-one. And you can see the result of that.
Whistle as the first quarter has wrapped up.
Score, Texas State 14, your Bears 6.
Last 8 Baylor plays have resulted in -5 yards. Coach Kinne has to like that. He also likes his team up 14-6. We'll step aside. Second quarter coming up. This Baylor crowd looking for something to get excited about. Palmer Williams deep in punt formation. Joey Hobart back deep, drifting back just inside the 35. Reverses field. Found a crease, but was slung to the ground by Tevin Williams. 50-yard kick, 6-yard return, LD. This Bobcats defense.
Yeah, I mean, they've been outstanding. And we knew with the concept of Coach, Patkey in his schemes from Manny Diaz, the pressure was going to be there, but they've been able to switch it up. They've been able to get 4 guys home. They've been able to stay home in the secondary. And when they anticipate that bootleg from Baylor to the wide side of the field, they're sitting their safeties and cutting it off and getting sacks. That is a great of a first quarter of defense that you can anticipate from the Bobcats there.
TJ Finley hands to Mashadi. Mahadi, 74 yards on 4 carries before that one. Bryson Jackson sits him down. TJ Finley, you might remember the name, one of the most highly sought out prospects in 2020. Ended up going to LSU, and the big quarterback spent some time at Auburn. Has started 8 games in the SEC, is only 2-6 in those starts.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So the Bobcats go backwards.
Yeah, that's really their first mistake of this game. And aside from that, that was probably as clean of a first quarter that you could anticipate to start the season out. I mean, you got a new quarterback, you've got some new players, and they seem almost flawless in that first quarter. How can they respond to the first setback here?
Quick pass. Drew Donnelly has his first grab. Nothing doing.
Defense there by the Baylor Bears. They got to dig deep, and they need some guys to play up. Watch Dunson out here. He recognizes, sheds the block, and makes the play.
Finley is in trouble. Dodges Franklin. Rolls out of the pocket to his left. On the run, and he finds Wilson.
I mean, this guy is calm, cool, and collected. TJ Finley, my goodness. I mean, this guy here is a cool customer. He gets flushed out of the pocket, but what I love about it, he kept his composure, kept his eyes upfield, and was still able to throw a strike.
Denario Davenport, the deep back. Wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Devin Bobby on the tackle.
Good defense there by the Baylor Bears again. Now they've got to get this. They got to get their big guys up front to be active. They got to get off these blocks. This is a massive offensive line. I can't state that enough. Size does matter on the line of scrimmage, and especially if you've got 5 guys up front that are physical and athletic, the Baylor Bears have got to be the aggressives here.
Finley Short drop, fires a pass to Hawkins. Hawkins had 13 catches and 114 yards in his last visit to McLean Stadium last year. Trying to get going now is Finley. 3rd and 5 for the Bobcats. They are 3 and 4 on 3rd down so far today.
Yeah, that's where they've got to improve. They were 9th in the Sun Belt Conference a year ago with right about 36, 37%.
A little bit of life from the Baylor crowd. Finley with that live arm down the right side. Hawkins wants a flag, won't get it. Devin Bobby blanketed.
Pete, was that pass on the money too? I think it was. I think that ball was right where it needed to be. And how about the confidence? You know a quarterback is in the game when you've got 3rd and 5 and he's like, hey, heck with that. I'm going up top. I'm trying to put points on the board. I got the matchup. And you saw it. That pass is on the money. Hawkins trying to one-hand it.
4th and 5. Coach Kinne says we're going to go. Finley, a great grab. Outstretched arms of Hawkins brings it down and quiets the Baylor crowd. A big 6-yard gain.
Hey, listen, this offense is a problem. This is a problem. You've got receivers that are getting free. That was the one knock last year. These guys couldn't create space. And now you've got a quarterback with a howitzer for an arm. He's putting this ball on the money. There's no defense for that.
Short gain for Calvin Hill. Coach Leftwich said, hey, we're taking a lot off this guy's plate. We're going to put him in shotgun, make it simple. And he said throughout camp he made the right decisions. So far, so good today. 8 of 12, 82 yards, and a touchdown for the big fella.
And keep in mind, he did say he was an extension of himself. That's a bonus. In this offense, you got a quarterback that's seeing the game like you're calling it. That's a bonus.
Finley finds Wilson, 6-yard gain.
They're just dinking. They're just dunking. They're taking their shots. And just when you think, okay, we got to play some pass coverage, Pete, we're going to gash you with a running back. How do you stop that right now?
So that's how you stop it. Byron Vaughn's into the backfield. Big-time recruit, was sought after by USC from Utah State, came to Baylor.
Yeah, you go, right? And the scheme may call for you to do something else. But if you see those guards, the backside tackle and the guard pulling as a defensive end or an outside linebacker, you just go take off right off their butts and go make the play in the backfield.
Brings up another 4th down. 1 for 1 on 4th down so far on the drive are the Bobcats. Finley, another strike to Hawkins, thrown down behind the line of scrimmage by Bobby. How close was he to the marker?
Well, he's right at it, but I think they're already setting the chains for another 1st down. Hey, it's no fear. It is no fear for this offense in the Bobcats. And you've got to feel good as a play caller that your defense, you feel like your defense is playing top-notch. You've got the Baylor Bears on their heels. Now the offense is returning the favor. This is the ultimate complementary football. Your offense playing aggressive because you know the defense has got your back.
13th play of the drive, 28th play of the day for Texas State. Using that tempo. Finley using that cannon. Tried to get it to Donnelly. Broken up by Romario Noel.
Now that's just good coverage. Watch this. Now it's going to be tough to go stride for stride. These defensive backs can flat out run. It's going to be tough to beat them one-on-one like that. And you saw the recovery there, knocking it down. Got to see more of that by this defensive secondary.
Finley cool under pressure, spins out of it. Rolling to his left again, throwing with his right into the end zone. Touchdown, Denario Davenport. Oh my!
I mean, even Coach Kinne's got to say, give me that, son. Texas State, Pete. Hey, as the kids say, Texas State ain't fronting no games tonight.
Say no more.
Hey.
Say less, that's what they say. Say less.
That's right, I got you.
13 plays, 60 yards, 536. And it is quiet here at McLean Stadium. TJ Finley on the day, 11 of 16, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. There's a reason why GJ Kinne was so excited to get this guy out of the portal. And there's a reason he's so excited today. 21-6, Bobcats lead. We'll be right back. Well, there is Mr. Finley. On fire so far this afternoon. Started the game 1 of 4, has completed 10 of his last 12 passes for 117 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's an excellent debut for a first half. I can tell you that so far.
Baylor looking for a pulse. Corey Gordon looking for a crease. Hammered at around the 27-yard line.
Here it is, Pete. When this safety at the 15, right there, freeze it, guys. You see that safety, he's biting on the dig route and the crosser in his face. He's not anticipating the quarterback getting out of the jam that he is. But this is where the athleticism comes in from TJ Finley. You've got scramble rules apply, then you've got a receiver with a matchup on a linebacker, bang, touchdown. Sometimes you got to improvise, and sometimes your guys just go make a play, and that's what they did there.
Quite the night at the Improv for TJ Finley. Baylor not laughing. Chapin over the right side. Richardson. Texas State 0-9 all time against Baylor. Putting up quite a showing now.
Well, you know, you got a bunch of guys that they don't care about that. they're playing this game right now. Some of these guys didn't even play in this game last year. And so now you've got all new scheme, you've got all new players, all new vibes, and they're just out there playing the game on the field.
No baggage for these Bobcats coming into 2023. Richardson cut down. Another short game.
Trying to stay committed to the run. Offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes trying to stay committed to what this program does. They run the inside zone, they run the stretch play, they get in their 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, and then they just try to run you over. You can't panic. You're down 21-6. It's still a close game. You're still here. You just can't panic right now.
The Bears 0 for their last 4 third down attempts. Make it 2 for their last 5. Richardson run out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Alonzo Edwards ushers him out after a 32-yard gain.
Well, sometimes you just got to challenge your offensive line. And it looks like Coach Aranda has certainly done that. And these guys are starting to get their hands on it. Look at it there. That's the first time tonight where we saw the yellow jerseys take back control of the line of scrimmage. They've got the talent in the backfield. They just got to be consistent doing it.
Second biggest gain of the day for the Bears. Quick toss to Reese. Stacked up, no gain.
There's a player right there having a nice game. He's quietly going about his business. Ben Bell, sophomore outside linebacker. They can flex him. They can move him up on the line of scrimmage. They can put him all different places, making it a tough edge there to get outside of.
Now Baylor has 100 and, let's check this, 3 total yards on the day. 72 came on that long pass to Presley on the first drive, and that 32-yard gain right there by Richardson. Reese looking for daylight. Stiff arms his way to the 28.
That's a real nice run there by Reese. Got to get him more involved in the offense. I think right now Dominic Richards is taking the bulk of the carries.
7 carries for Richardson and 57 yards for him. Reese, 3 carries and 2 yards.
Got to protect up front. You anticipate blitz on 3rd and medium.
Shaper, quick throw underneath Jackson. Big time first down for Baylor. They are 2 of their last 2 on 3rd down. Chris Mills on the stop, 8-yard gain.
That's outstanding. This is a good pass here by Shapen. He saw the coverage. You got to throw that low and away so your guy can make that play and shield himself at the same time. If you're going to have man coverage, these receivers have got to be able to run man routes and win on the perimeter.
Shapen slings it to the right side. Jackson inside the 10, beaten out of bounds. 12-yard gain.
And this is a beautiful route at the top by Jackson. He runs a post comeback route. So he's faking like he's going to step and go to the post, and then he puts his foot in the dirt, comes back to the sideline, and the pass is on the money. The ball does squirt loose, but it's going out of bounds. It's still a fresh set of downs here in the red zone for the Bears.
9th play of the drive coming up for Baylor. Richardson bobbles the snap. That could have been a disaster. Regains control across the 10. Dan Foster on the stop.
That could have been horrendous. This is the best drive since their opening drive of the game. They've been able to really put some plays back to back. They're starting to do a good mix of run pass. That would have been detrimental. That would have been catastrophic to what they're trying to do to get back in this game.
Pete Souza, L.D. McLean. We are running in a good one from Waco, Texas. Shapen under duress. Shoots out of the pocket and springs into the end zone. Baylor back in business. 9-yard scramble.
That's why he's the guy. Sometimes you just got to turn yourself into a football player, Pete. You know where the play's designed to go. You see what the defense is trying to do. Sometimes you got to say, heck with that. I got to go score. And that's exactly what Shapen does here, putting his team on his back there.
Now, you play quarterback. If you're Blake Shapen, how are you feeling right now? You needed that drive, I assume.
I think it was go time. I think they could not have afforded to, on this drive, to not come away with the touchdown. And I think you just have to say, heck with this. I'm going to play, turn it loose, let's go.
Blake Shapen.
A lot of times when you play QB, it's not how it's drawn up. It's how you react and finish. Shapen getting it done in the end zone.
Some true freshmen. Judge Indy and Judge Bell. A couple of Bear Cubs. Their first game of their young career. And Baylor, with some youth on their squad, bouncing back with a big touchdown. They trail by 8, LD.
Hey, I'm telling you, lock in. This is a game I don't think anybody anticipated, at least the first half, to be like this. We got a long way to go. But right now, the Bobcats are showing that, hey, we're for real.
Big drive coming up for the Bobcats. TJ Finley ready to go. Approaching a high water mark for Texas State. 21 points already. 4 minutes left in the first half. 27 points is their high mark against Baylor in 2007.
That's going to be threatened here pretty quick, the way this game has unfolded so far, and the way this offense seemingly just kind of, it's a chess game, right? They're seemingly ahead of this defense, and this defense doesn't know where to key in just yet.
TJ Finley, forgotten by the football elite after transferring from LSU and Auburn, having a day today. Matt Jones on the stop of Calvin Hill.
Yeah, that's a great play by T.J. Franklin. It's the first time we've seen the read option look by the Bobcats, and I'm not so sure if the quarterback should have kept it there.
Tempo. Calvin Hill, the running back out of the backfield, has great hands. Jones and Williams on the stop.
We got an injured Baylor Bear down on the turf, but this defense got to figure out a way to get pressure on TJ Finley. As Tevin Williams is down, that more than likely every single time. This time of year in the first game is usually a cramp of some sorts, but check it out and see.
Yeah, the Baylor defense been on the field for 31 plays.
That's a lot, man. It's hot. It's still hot today, and you know, I know we had a couple of days this week. It dropped to, you know, lower 90s, but like you said, it's 100 degrees at kickoff. It's still humid. There it is right there. You know, the hydration starts. You know, you get ready for a game on Saturday. You got to start hydrating the previous Saturday. That's when you start hydrating, because you figure Monday you're probably gonna do some running, get conditions going, and you hydrate. Then Tuesday you put the game plan in. Wednesday you kind of go hard with full contact. Thursday typically is another walkthrough, and then Friday you're traveling. So gotta hydrate. Those ladies there are gonna be the MVP tonight for sure.
You mentioned hydration. Williams hobbles off the field with that, more than likely a cramp. The 2021 Gatorade Track and Field Athlete of the Year.
Oh, look at it, 98, man, that's hot.
Oh, by the way, it's almost 7:30.
I'm gonna question that humidity. At 26, I'm up here sweating.
3rd and 3. Finley, been like Cool Hand Luke, slings another completion. Cole Wilson playing a big role today, 11-yard gains. Bobcats continue to roll.
Yeah, TJ Finley is way too comfortable in the pocket. He hasn't had but maybe 1 or 2 plays with some stress, and the last time he got stressed, he threw a touchdown pass. Right now, it looks like 7-on-7 right now.
Calvin Hill! A shoestring tackle by Devin Bobby prevents another fireworks display for the Bobcats.
These guys are taught. Hey, when we do run it, you run like you're shot out of a cannon and try to go do the home run.
Finley taking a big cut. He's got Hawkins.
Oh, man. Oh, that's pretty. Here it is. You got the matchup you want. Play action pass sets this all up. Perfect play call on first down. The tendency, you're going to get man-to-man coverage, and that's the matchup he wanted. The pass was there. Hawkins knows better and probably should have held on to that one.
He has had a couple potential home runs, like we talked about, slip through his fingertips. Hot.
Oh, rugby scrum.
Whoa, the pile moves to the 35. When it's all said and done, an 8-yard chunk. Almost an incredible catch by Joe Dirt. Government named Joey Hobart, has great hands and doesn't put tape on him. He's one of the only receivers in college football, no tape on the hands, tapes his hands like a boxer. Couldn't reel that one in.
Yeah, don't change what you've been doing so far. They went on every single just about 4th down in that first quarter. Keep this thing going.
2 for 2 on 4th down today. What do you like here, LD?
You know what? I'm not so sure. If you just hand this ball, you've had success running the ball. You've been able to catch this defense. Keep that trend going.
Fresh blood into the game in Jamal Jeter, the running back. Bobcats will talk it over. Coming up with a pivotal 4th and 2. 21-13 Texas State. We'll step aside.
Dear wildlife, When we were young, you served us well. But times have changed, and so have we. And today, we're taking on a whole new world of adventure. We're still enjoying the wildlife. It's just a different kind.
Better trucks make better memories. The Toyota Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
The Baylor story is one of the greatest stories ever written in the history of college athletics. And now you can experience that story like never before with Baylor Plus. Baylor Plus is the home for Baylor fans everywhere. Experience stories new and old, untold and retold.
Baylor Lady Bears are back at the top of college basketball.
Relive the greatest moments in Baylor athletics history.
Throwing for the end zone. That's it. Oh, it's gone. Oh, my goodness. Trying to get to the corner. He didn't get there.
Congratulations, Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears, the national champions.
Go behind closed doors like never before and experience exclusive access with your favorite coaches and student athletes.
They can't outcut us. They can't outwork us.
That summer was one of the better summers that our guys have had.
Enjoy an on-demand library of premium content designed specifically for you, the Baylor fan. Baylor Plus is coming this fall.
Coach Dave Aranda coming off a 6-7 campaign last year for Baylor, trying to rebound this season. Off to a little bit of a slow start. We see the map there. Old school, right? Now, new school, the 2024 Big 12. That's about as deep as it gets, and you're covering 10 states, LD.
I know. And back in the day, you know, the old Southwest Conference was basically Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas. You know, you go there. Now, the Big 12 took from that, and here we are. You've got teams from all over, and you heard talks about that way back when, and now that has come to fruition. I think this conference is legit. I think they've got some teams that can certainly make the national noise coming off of what TCU did a year ago.
Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark has done a phenomenal job. So is TJ Finley in the Bobcats offense. Jamal Jeter stays in the game at running back. His first play, his first carry. Slices and dices to the 30-yard line, and a first down for Texas State.
Yeah, I'm going to work behind these big guys. 330 pounds, man per man up here. And then you've got these running backs that have the patience, they've got the vision, and there's really nothing this defense has been able to do so far aside from bringing an extra guy in the box. But when you do that, now you're susceptible to the pass on the perimeter.
Wildcat formation, quick snap, nowhere to go for Jeter. TJ Franklin all over him. That is the 6th Baylor tackle for a loss.
Here it is. You got a jet sweep motion. Timing's a little bit throwing off. That's a great play by Kyler Jordan. He's the first guy to throw off the timing of this run play. We talk about timing and passing plays, but the running plays have to have timing. That time, Jordan blew that up.
Timeout on the field, second of the game by Texas State.
Yeah, they're trying to think about how can we add some more points here before this half. You got 2 timeouts remaining. You got 1 remaining, and let's make this efficient down here. Let's get into this red zone. That's a source of where they need to be a lot better this year.
A 1-score advantage right now for Texas State. Looking for insurance here. Calvin Hill's your running back. Finley, plenty of time, right down the middle. And right down Main Street is Ashton Hawkins. This time he makes the big play.
What is the safety doing? The safety's in the middle of the field. He's just way too deep. He had 3 wide receivers to the left side of the formation. They all run verticals. The inside receiver is taught to go to the middle of the field, but the safety was too deep, and it was a perfect pass. Wow.
31-yard gain. Bobcats knocking on the door. Calvin Hill stood up at the goal line and goes backwards. Josh White led the charge.
Yeah, it's all about pad levels down here. You can finesse all you want, but to get the points that you need at the 1, you got to play big boy ball. Bears win that one.
So you just heard referee David Alvarez break it down.
Man, what a game. What a, I mean, I'm just sitting here thinking about, you know, X's and O's from that standpoint there. I'm sitting here thinking, wow, these guys are executing as good as you possibly want. And credit to, you know, Texas State and what they're trying to do. I just think Baylor, they've got great players. Right now, they're just getting out schemed. And that's the only thing I can think of. And then the execution of the play is just one step ahead of the Baylor Bears defense. Just when they think they countered something, Pete, well, here comes Texas State with another wrinkle, and they haven't been able to catch up to this offense yet.
Big plays for Texas State. They have 5 of 20 yards or more. You just saw 1-2 plays ago. And now you see a touchdown. Jamal Jeter over the goal line. Woo.
Yeah, that little racket that you hear is the little Texas State fans in the corner of the end zone to our left on the screen, or to our right on the screen, I'm sorry. Here it is, pad level. Watch the offensive line. They just do enough. And then you've got all of mass and humanity on this offensive line, just bullying this defensive front across the plane.
Oh, by the way, 4 of those 5 starters, FCS transfers from UIW, coming here with Coach Kinne.
And this offense looks just like that. I've seen enough games of UIW last year. How could you not? They were one of the best offenses in all of college football. And I'm seeing some of the same things at the FCS level. Now they've implemented here at the FBS level. And it's fun to watch them for sure.
Watching Colorado today upset TCU on the road. They're the only team in the country with more transfers than Texas State. And they have a lot of FCS transfers too coming with Coach Prime from Jackson State. FCS guys here at Texas State from UIW showing out.
I wanted to go back and look at this play, Pete. They had 3 wide receivers at the bottom of the screen. Look at this safety right there at the middle. He's coming across. He's late. He's too deep. That's a poor angle. You've got to understand what your defense is doing. When they drop the other safety down in coverage, you got to get there. And then this is, again, big boy football. I'm going to continue to say it because that's exactly what this is. They've got bigger guys than the defense, and they're just shoving their way to get the yard needed to score.
Now, Coach Aranda talked to us about the fact that Texas State uses those wide splits, and that can create chaos for a defensive unit. And maybe that's been part of the problem today, just a whole new look for the Bears.
And the size of the offensive line. So you keep in mind, okay, they're big to begin with. Now you've got these huge splits. And so with an undersized defense, you've got to go so far to get around blocks where they've already created natural running lanes by the angles of the splits. So that's why you're seeing these running backs gash at 6, 7, big long runs, 20-plus yards sometimes when they run the ball tonight.
And there is Coach Jeff Grimes.
Got to keep going. This offense, we talked about some things that could happen. This offense is going to have to score. You know, in the Big 12, every single one of these offenses have similar concepts as we're seeing here from Texas State. You're going to see Texas Tech sometime. you're going to see them with some big splits. You're going to see some of these other offenses with huge splits in the Big 12. They like to throw it, run the inside zone. So
Shaping to the right side. Dabney with the reception. Close to a first down, belted down by Holloway.
It's a good drive starter there. That's what you want to get going, but you got to go.
30 seconds on the clock, 1 timeout left. Quite possibly some movement on Baylor.
I tell you what, Tate Williams, 77, has had a rough first half. That poor kid.
5th false start for the Baylor offensive line.
Number 77, 5-yard penalty, still second down. Baylor has elected to use their 3rd and final timeout of the half to avoid the 10-second runoff. Timeout Baylor. 60 seconds in length.
All right, as we wait on 2nd and 8, and the Bears talk it over. Some Big 12 scores. UCF all over Kent State on Thursday night. And then earlier today, Oklahoma 73-0 over Arkansas State. But the big one that jumps out at us, 45-42. Coach Prime and Colorado beating TCU, 17th ranked TCU in Fort Worth. Back to the action here at McLean Stadium. 29 seconds left, no timeouts left for the Bears. Chapin over the middle. Dominic Richardson. First down across the 35 for Dement on the stop.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
22 seconds on the clock. Last 2 minutes of the half. Clock stops for a first down. New rule. New running back for Baylor out of Oklahoma State. Richardson, 2nd catch in a row. Gets out of bounds, 12 seconds left.
Yeah, Richardson's been active in this first half. They need some chunk plays now, Pete. They got to get some of these 10, 15-yard chunks downfield, and you got to get out of bounds.
Dabney can't hang on. Much to the chagrin of the crowd here in Waco.
Yeah, they are not liking what they're seeing. You know, they understand and respect what, you know, Texas State is certainly doing, but, you know, it comes a point here at Baylor, you got to start executing and make the simple routine plays like catching the ball there.
Timeout, Texas State.
Yeah, he's not too happy.
Well, I mean, why would he be?
I mean, he's in there thinking like, is this a joke right now?
So what do you do here if you're Baylor?
I think you take a knee. I think you cut your losses. I think you take the knee. I think you regroup at the halftime. They put up 28 points in one half. We can put up 28 points too, and our defense can be much better. I think you cut your losses, regroup, and get back, and let's play the second half as a new team.
Coach GJ Kinne.
Because what you don't want to have happen, you make a mistake here, and this defense turns your mistake into a touchdown. That's the last thing that you want to do.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Setback is Reeves. Chapin underneath to Baldwin, steps out of bounds at the 40 with 1 second left.
That's a long kick still. I think this, if anything, is going to be a heave in the end zone. And you're going to see the Bobcats, I think they're running the kicker out. Man.
So buckle up. Isaiah Hankins.
You got 57 yards? Is what that is? Yeah.
58 yards,
okay,
LD.
58. I thought he could have made that kick earlier from about 55 easily.
Texas State takes the timeout.
Coach Kinne saying, hey, it does me no good to take these timeouts to halftime. I can't do anything with them. Let's burn it here.
Now, Isaiah Hankins is an accurate kicker, but over the course of his career, he really hasn't shown the ability to make the long kick. 0 for 1 last year from 40 yards or more.
So I thought early in that first quarter, this had a lot of steam, Pete. And look what this thing finished it up. Now that's probably 6-7 yards past the goalpost. Now, when you kick it that long, your trajectory comes down. So the tendency is to drive that ball low and get some distance. Now, when you do that, this defensive line, this front group up here can certainly block it a little bit more easier.
He has shown his leg earlier today, booting that 53-yarder. – 57-yard attempt on the way. Snap, good. Hold, down, wide right. So 28 points for Texas State, the most they have ever scored against Baylor. A rivalry in which they are 0-9. They head to the locker room. Baylor will receive the second half kick. LD, what are you looking for the Bears to get on track in the final 2 quarters?
They got to establish this running game, and they've got to decide what identity that they want to be. They got to figure out a way to run, and then defensively, they got to get on the same page and everybody talk to each other and communicate, because right now, this Bobcats offense is having a field day.
Well, if one guy is good at bouncing back and philosophy, it is that man, head coach Dave Aranda. He's got some work to do. 28-13, Texas State leads as we head into halftime. We will step aside and be back with you on ESPN now, or excuse me, Big 12 now on ESPN Plus.
Started at 12, running 11 deep, and dropping down since 9-6. What happened when the Big 8 met the Southwest? 7 Heismans, count them, with 6 at the net, 5 on the floor, and 4 schools stronger. We put up threes, throw up deuces, and make one thing clear. We've always been greater than 12.
All right, Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. Looking forward to some second half action, but before we get to that, let's take a look at the Big 12 preseason poll. LD, Texas is at the top. You like them, but it's also crowded at the top.
Yeah, in this conference, you're going to have every one of these teams that have high-flying offense. It's going to come down to the team that can play defense. I think the best defense in this conference is the Texas Longhorns. Now, when you look at the reigning champs so far, Kansas State, Coach Kleiman and their group, you've always got to keep them in the discussion as well. But I think after that, it's wide open in this conference, and it's going to be fun to see how this thing shapes up.
All right, we are back here in the booth. Pete Souza alongside LD McLean. Baylor is one of those teams hoping to make a run for the Big 12 title. What do you like about them this season? You talked to Coach Aranda. He said he's got reasons to be optimistic.
Well, I think they've got a veteran quarterback coming back, his consistent play. But their recipe is simple, like 2021. Play good defense, hold opponents to 30 points or less, and then ground and pound defenses into submission.
I'm with you on the quarterback position. If Baylor is going to compete for that title, a reason to be optimistic is Blake Shapen and his maturation. Now, what about reasons to be pessimistic?
Yeah, you know, this conference is so wide open, and you talk about those offenses. Can the Baylor Bears keep up? Because there's going to be nights this defense is going to have some tough tasks against a lot of these teams. So that's going to be my question. Can they do that and keep up this year?
Once again, did you see my notes? You're stealing another one from me. I think the Baylor defense, especially on the back end, the cornerback position, there's a lot of inexperience there. Coach Aranda's going to have to use his wizardry to maybe hide some of those deficiencies.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's going to be a fun watch this year for sure.
One thing to watch, we got 4 new teams here in the Big 12. Who do you like as being a new member that's going to make a real splash this year?
I think you have to look at the BYU Cougars. I think the Cougars, in the style of football they play, because it's underrated, it's a physical style. They're coming back with a quarterback that is a top-notch player. They have 2 wide receivers in this offense that accounted each for 1,000 yards, and they've got the defense and an experienced head coach. I'd watch out for the Cougars.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you anymore on that one, too. They have a history and experience of playing big-time college football, so they fit right in one of the best and definitely deepest conferences in college football. Now, we'll be right back with second half action, Texas State and Baylor, so don't go anywhere. You are watching Big 12 Now on ESPN+. The Banks of the Brazos on a beautiful Saturday night in Waco, Texas. Next Saturday, a great slate of 3 games, Big 12 Now on ESPN, highlighted by new member BYU hosting Southern Utah at 2 p.m. Central. And if you're not already ready for some football, this will certainly get you primed.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's football time.
This is the moment we all been waiting for.
College football is all the way back.
It's time. Uncle in, baby, because we're for the hell of a ride.
I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I got a Cobra stick for necktie. A brand new house all over rural side. It's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new gin that baby put on top. And I'm made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me who do you love?
This place is officially lit.
Who do you love?
All the energy you could ask for. Death Valley roars to life. There's nothing quite like this.
Color, pageantry, tradition. These are the ingredients that make college football unique.
About to get real loud, folks. Buckle up and enjoy. Here we go. Launches downfield. Touchdown! Are you kidding me? What a play!
This place is going bananas right now.
I want football. You want football. Everybody wants football.
Yeah, who do you love?
I don't know about you, but I love college football.
Back with second half action, but before that, we'll have first half highlights and stats. Well, 28-13, not exactly what that young man was looking forward to this afternoon when he headed over to McLean Stadium. Pete Souza alongside LD McLean. LD, we've got a great one so far. What have you seen from Texas State that's enabled them to separate from Baylor?
Well, I think right off the bat, Peak, I think Texas State are the aggressors. I think their offensive line set the tone at the very beginning, and they never looked back. And it set up these fantastic plays that we saw TJ Finley go downfield to his skill set and skill players. Now you get the tight end involved. Now it's a mismatch problem. And this is just a schematic advantage that they drew up in the dirt that worked to perfection. But the run game stabilized everything that they needed to do offensively. And Marty there going home with the big one. But this was the play of the half to me. This was absolutely outstanding. The quarterback using his instincts, keeping his eyes upfield, and making a big play touchdown.
Yeah, Coach Kinne said he likes Denaro Davis's basketball ability. He made a leap right there to make a big touchdown grab. Now we see Baylor get back into the football game thanks to transfers, Richardson and Jackson, and of course, Blake Shapen bouncing back from a 6-7 2022 for a big score there. But man, Finley has been on fire, LD.
He's been sensational, and these receivers are right where they need to be. And every time Baylor gets a little bit of life, here comes that offense doing what they need to do. And look at the balance. You've got 114 yards rushing at half, and the complementary passing game, they've been able to complement the running game by going vertical, and just when they need a little short flat intermediate runs. They've been able to connect on that. It's been fantastic to watch them go.
Well, here comes Baylor, ready for a second half and hopefully a second life here as we come down the stretch. We'll be back with all the action. And plus 28-13. The Bear Cubs might have to spring into action here in the second half if Baylor is going to get back into this one, LD.
Yeah, they may need to put some pads on those two Bears there. Those guys sure are cute when they're little, but man, you don't want to see them when they get big, for sure.
No, our producer John was trying to take one of them home. They said, hey, these things get up to like 500 pounds. Take it easy.
Yeah, John, you don't want to mess with those guys.
Valesco giving it a ride. Corey Gordon takes it at the 2-yard line, wisely stays in bounds and heads upfield. Catches a crease, belted to the ground, but not before a big return of 37 yards.
Okay. You needed a spark. You needed something to not only energize your team, but get this crowd back behind you. And that's a great way to get this thing going.
So there is Blake Shapen leading an offense in the first half that had 6 possessions, which led to 2 field goals, 1 touchdown, 2 points, and 1 missed field goal. With time and confidence, finds the transfer, Ketron Jackson.
Yeah, Pete, this is the first time that Blake Shapen has looked confident in the pocket. That's a great route. You stem him up, you press him like you're going to go on the go route, and then you shut it down and come back to the ball. And that just shows you a little bit of the potential of Ketron Jackson Jr. on the outside. That's a nice matchup that they've got to try to exploit a little bit here in the second half.
Jackson had a little trouble breaking free from press coverage in the first half. Worked to some space there. Reese tripped up near the line of scrimmage. Dan Foster, they call him Danimal, and for good reason.
Here it is. This is the stretch. This is a staple in the offense. Outside zone. Look at the pursuit. Not enough green out there. Not enough yellow jerseys out in front. And there he is. You mentioned Dan Foster coming across, the prototypical inside linebacker in today's football. You got to have a guy that can run fit, but you also have to have a guy in coverage as well.
One of those 53 transfers, he comes from Marshall. Shapen trying to come from behind. Laces it to Dabney. Into the red zone. Into the end zone. $53 yards.
That's how you get this thing back going. It's a 2-man route. It's very simple. When they get in that 12 personnel, you've got 2 tight ends. You've got 1 running back, 2 wide receivers. They like their matchup, and it was a 2-man route. It looked like we may go in for 2 here.
Would make sense.
Got a Bobcat down. It's
Tavian Coleman as we take a look at the touchdown.
Here it is. You just drag it across the formation. You've got 1 crosser, and you've got a receiver going straight to clear it out. And it's man-to-man coverage. And it's one of the best passes I've seen Shapen throw tonight. The pass before was really good, but the fact that he hit his tight end in motion to where he could catch it and use that big body and size and speed to get to the end zone.
Alonzo Edwards absorbed some contact from Dabney, who shoved him off. Good contact, created some separation, and with a big touchdown catch. And there is Coleman. Nice to see him walking gingerly off the field.
You got to get him some Gatorade, get him something, salt tablets or something. Shapen get a little bit shaky after that last play.
Big two-point conversion coming. We see Dabney. He's on the right side, ball's on the left hash. Richardson, the running back. Chapin locks on to Jackson. And the transfer climbs the ladder for the two-point conversion.
That's a great ball by Chapin. You got to throw that thing high. It's the back shoulder fade. I actually think the defensive backs in perfect position. And that's exactly what the Baylor Bears needed to take this opening drive and score.
3 plays, 62 yards. Baylor cooking up a comeback. (28-21). Baylor charging back. Their first 4 possessions of the game, LD. 54 yards and 6 points. Last 3, 169 yards, 15 points. Texas State going to try to answer. Bryson Jackson fills the hole and throws Calvin Hill to the turf.
Well, you can see right off the bat, Matt Powledge, the answer to trying to slow down this running game. He's bringing an extra guy in the box. You'll see number 7, Jackson, Bryson Jackson. He flashed right there in that run support.
Finley, offensive coordinator Matt Leftwich calls him an extension of himself.
I believe it, because right now you can see sometimes he'll get to the line of scrimmage, he'll scan the defense, and he'll put his hand down and say, hold on, I'm going to change this play.
Hill hits the corner, reverses field. Nice gain of 7 yards.
Well, that's a really nice cut back there. Calvin Hill, GJ Franklin going down on the ground for the Baylor Bears. Got a little stoppage here.
You don't want to speculate because that's another word for guessing, but we have seen a lot of cramps so far tonight, LD, in this Central Texas heat.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I mean, it's, again, you train to try to simulate what you're going to feel in this first game. It's really hard to do. You really can't do that in practice. Now, you can try to extend practice, but it's been so hot this summer.
All right, we'll step aside when we come back. 2nd and 3 for Texas State. Back to action here. 2nd and 3. Finley gonna uncork it. Oh, and an incredible one-handed grab by Joey Hobert.
No, he didn't.
Joe Dirt. That's what they call him. And for good reason. They say he runs dirty routes. Dirty grab there.
Man, that is fantastic.
The field was a completed catch.
I mean, that's like an OBJ catch there. Watch this here. Look at this. Watch that extension. Reach back like 1-3.
Can you overturn that?
I don't think so. This is going to be a good angle here. Watch this, Pete. No glove. No nothing. Just got some tape. Just old school throwback. And he goes up and makes an electrifying catch to this point.
Coach Leftwich says he's like a boxer. Tapes up his hands like a boxer. No gloves. Delivering quite the blow there.
You know, he's been putting on some routes. He's been putting on a clinic. Here it is. This is a good look there. All you got to do is get one in this league.
I'm going to call it a catch.
And he goes down with it, can control, you know. But I've been watching him, and he hasn't been the main target on a lot of things, but he has won one-on-one battles. He's a sick route runner. And right there, he did a nice one there just to get open, and then he just pulled one out right there. That's fantastic. Look at that. That's great camera work too, y'all. That's fantastic, man.
If the name sounds familiar, Hobert, He is from a football family. His dad, Billy Joe, quarterback at Washington when they shared a piece of the national title with Colorado. 31-yard grab. If it stands for Joey Hobert.
You know, Pete, you asked me at the beginning of the game, what does it take? You know, what was it like to go in and do an upset? I'm telling you, plays like that, those are the things that are not routine. You got to kind of make some extraordinary plays.
After further review, the run on the field stands. It's a catch.
Yeah.
David Alvarez, our official, breaks the bad news to the faithful here at McLean Stadium.
That's going to be hard to beat. You won't find a better catch all weekend than that one right there.
And now, TJ Finley.
You know, just when this Baylor offense kind of gets a little life and figures it out, they have a nice drive, you anticipate the defense to have a kind of a comeback here. Make the adjustments. So far, it is a replica of the first half.
Calvin Hill into the teeth of the defense. Tackled by Mike Smith. Devin Lemire off screen, kneeling in front of the Baylor sideline.
Yeah, he can't even hold that arm up. It's just dangling. You know, you're going to go through adversity through the course of a season. You just don't anticipate the first game of the year.
Coach Dave Aranda, some adversity off the season, losing his father to colon cancer in July. Back to the action. Hill crawls to the 16. That's after they made the call here at McLean Stadium. You like TJ Finley saying, hey, come on, we got a job to do.
Oh, man.
Ball was loose. Finley dives on it.
Yeah, that thing shot out of there, and I don't think anybody saw it until the very end. Then Finley, watch 40 fill this gap, first of all. He's right in there. He's always in the neck, and then all of a sudden, there's the ball. That was it. That was the moment. That's what you needed. You've got to find ways to get the ball back. You're struggling and slowing this offense down. That was the moment.
Fourth and 3.
Yeah, this is old hat for this offense. They do not fear going for it on fourth down.
3 for 3 so far today. A lot of room. Finley to the left side. Bangs his way into the end zone. Loses his helmet. He doesn't care. Touchdown Bobcats. 16 yards.
They are just one step ahead. Now you can make the case they're 2 steps ahead. They haven't really shown the read option look much. And if they did, it was an automatic give. Here they just said, hey, quarterback, you keep it. And he reads it perfectly. And if you read it perfectly, the defense cannot be right. And he had a convoy, and I'm not so sure they want to tackle a quarterback at 255 pounds running downhill.
And the climb is now uphill for Baylor. And the lead is 14 for Texas State and first-year head coach GJ Kinne. 34 years young, recruits guys like Finley to come play in San Marcos. Taking back Texas, that's the motto. They've done that tonight. Joe Dirt getting dirty. Texas State up 14. Looking for some life here on the berm in Waco, Texas. Big 12 now on ESPN+. Pete Souza, LD McLean, Saturday Night Football. This one, a little more than we bargained for, LD.
It is. Buckle up. I think this thing's going to come down to the wire at some point in this game. I think the Baylor Bears aren't going anywhere.
Corey Gordon looking to give his team some life. Whack to the turf. Kenny Haynes knocks him down.
Well, you don't want to expose your quarterback too much in the run game, so you got to time it when you call the read option. But they call it perfectly. The quarterback has to read it, and once he gets outside, this is a big, athletic, physical quarterback. And again, you better make a business decision if you want to get in front of number 7 right there.
Texas State scored touchdowns on 5 of their 7 drives tonight.
This is incredible. I think they haven't seen the likes of this style of offense and efficient, I think, ever, really. This offense is off the charts.
Reese springs into the secondary, but a flag could bring it back. Foster on the tackle, 12-yard gain. Referee David Alvarez.
Offside. Defense, number 90, lined up in the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Bryce Cage lined up off sides. The play stands in Baylor. Little shot in the arm.
We need to keep an eye on Chapin. Got that wheel taped up a little bit. Let's see how he can make it through the rest of this game.
Hobbling to his right, really showing it there. Coming back to make a big grab is Joshua Burton.
That's really good. You know, we talk so much about TJ Finley's arm talent, arm strength. Look at this here by Chapin. He felt the pressure, the tendency is to flow. You see, he's gingerly getting outside of the pocket, but he had enough arm strength and enough of his body contorted to where the velocity and the timing was there for his guy.
And we saw Chapin really laboring back up the field. And you see his numbers tonight. Remember, Baylor picked up Sawyer Robertson in the offseason, big-time transfer from Mississippi State. A more than capable backup. And Richardson showing he is a more than capable runner. Rebels hits him down, but not before he comes close to a first down.
Yeah, that's a little bit better job, Pete, by this offensive line. And they want to run this stretch play. This is a staple in a Coach Aranda's offense. They want to run the stretch. They want to get that defense where they're running to the sideline, and then bang, that running back can put his foot in the ground and go upfield. And you saw Richardson do it there.
Chapin with time. Just missing Jonah Burton.
Well, credit to defensive backs here. When they run play action Baylor, there's typically 2 to 3 routes or receivers in the route combination. Look at the end of this here. He's still taking some pops. This defense letting them know that they're going to be here for the remainder of the night. But this gets really clogged up on the back end, and he wanted to hit the crossing route. But Josh Cameron, number 34, couldn't clear that right side of the defense out.
Richardson's your running back with Yates, the up back.
Oh, man.
Would be the 6th offside for the Bears.
False start. Offense, number 58, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Yeah, that's on Gavin Byers, number 58 on offense.
And look, we talked about it all, dude. They have a lot of moving parts now coming together on the offensive line this year. A mixed bag. A couple transfers, a couple guys returning. It's starting to show tonight. Chapin under pressure. Wings it to Jackson. Nice grab. Flag down on the opposite side of the field off your screen.
Yeah, that came in way late.
Knowledgeable player downfield, number 74 of the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
These type of penalties are killer. These are having your head in the game type penalties. That pass was too quick. There's no reason for the offensive linemen to get upfield. Now, they give them that grace period of about 2-3 yards. They always give them that. But there's no excuse on the quick game pass for an offensive lineman to be downfield.
I mean, who was playing more like the team that just had 53 new guys come to town? Burton. He ladders up in this game in the second half, going over the 30-yard line. Big first down for Baylor.
There's another extension of the quick game. Wide receiver screen onto the outside. Jonah Burton is their speed guy for sure. You just want to give him a wide open lane so he can get to top speed quickly. Picks up the first down. They much need it.
So they'll review it as you see Burton, a walk-on, who has had a terrific training camp, according to the Baylor staff. And we're seeing exactly why today.
A lot of talent for Baylor. They've got the skill players, and the one question I thought coming in, are the receivers going to be able to step up this year? You know, I felt Shapen, he's going to be moxie, he's going to be tough as nails, he's going to be consistent this year. What's going to be the personnel to help him? Are they going to be able to run the ball efficiently enough, and can they throw when they need to throw? And they've struggled a little bit in this game running the ball, only 81 yards to this point. They've had to really throw it, I believe, more than they want to at this point in the game.
Referee David Alvarez communicating with replay official Richard Brown. The two have had probably more conversations recently on the headset than they would have liked, but for very good reason. And I would say this officiating crew doing a great job as we get another look.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job. Again, it's the first game for these guys too. And you got the replay in place to really hedge your bet to get the call right, which way it goes. That's what it's designed for, right?
Now again, as a guy who played quarterback at North Texas, do reviews like this, stops like this, kind of mess up your rhythm for the offense? You're feeling good, you're kind of in a groove now, and now here you are stepping aside.
Yeah, you know, I think it can go both ways. I think, yes, you're absolutely right. If you're an offense that is playing up-tempo and this slows you down,
after further review, the runner was down short of the line to gain. At the 31-yard line, it will be 4th and 1.
And just to finish out your question, I think sometimes it can help you because it slows the game down so you're not trying to overthink and overplay a lot of times. Right now, they're just having execution problems. A lot of that's by the defense of the Bobcats. We know that. We've detailed that here tonight. But it's simple things like jumping off sides, a drop pass here and there, a blocking assignment busted, right? It's the little things that they just got to step in and do it here. Got 4th down here.
I formation. 2 tight ends in motion. 4th and short. Shaping right up the middle to Yates. I don't know.
I don't think so. He had to get to the 30-yard line. He barely made it to the 20, to the 31. I'm sorry. Not even close. Here it is, Pete. We talk about it. Short yardage situation, all about pad level. Here it is. You just see this defensive front just getting in the way. They're not necessarily making the tackle. You're just getting in the way, clogging up run lanes, and that's exactly what they do up front. That's excellent technique. Terry Webb right there, big number 95. He's at the middle, at the bottom of it. And Tavian Coleman. I'll tell you what, Coleman's had a nice game tonight. And this defensive as a unit has been firing on all cylinders.
And we saw him give the little namaste. No serenity right now for these Baylor fans. Finley, quick pitch and catch to Joey Hobart.
Yeah, that's a high percentage play on 1st down. You just want to keep the defense honest. A 2-score lead. There's no sitting on the ball, taking the air out of it with this offense. This offense only knows one speed, and that's to attack you and exploit where you're weak at.
Finley sees some daylight, moves the ball forward before he's hit down by Matt Jones.
Yeah, I just think he's made all the right decisions tonight. There hasn't been any pass, Pete, that we've seen that, okay, that could have been picked off, or hey, that was an ill-advised pass. He's made all the right decisions. And even when the defense actually covers in the back end, he's tucked it down, made a football play to keep the drive going.
3rd and 4. Hobart loses tacklers and pounds his way across midfield. Bryson Jackson missed him. 13-yard gain.
There's a lot to love with this play. This is a big league throw. This is next level stuff. You know you're getting heated up, and he throws a strike, and they still get another first down to move.
Finley in rhythm, down the field, out of the reach of Wilson.
Here it is. You're anticipating blitz, and they do. They bring both linebackers inside. It's picked up nicely, and all you want to do is give your guys a chance to make one guy miss because it's man coverage on the outside. And when you make a guy miss, these receivers, this receiving core has the ability to go and get the yak yardage.
Coach Kinne told TJ Finley, hey, you come play for me. I'm going to take a lot off your plate, put you in shotgun, and give you a shot at the NFL. Wow, ball jarred free by the Baylor defense. And that's the break the Bears needed. Bryson Jackson falls on it.
Well, you said it right. That's the one thing that's been clean tonight. They protected the ball. They haven't put it in harm's way. And just when things seem bleak, there is a gift. And Coach Kinne knows that. He has this team on the ropes. They were going down and trying to put more points on the board. But then you give a gift, and here it is. Yeah, just a poor exchange. That actually is on the running back. You've got to make a bigger pocket. When you're running to the right, that right elbow has to be up real high and let the quarterback put it in your basket, and then you clamp down. He tried to take it from the quarterback, and that's a big no-no.
Only the second carry of the game for Denario Davenport. Turned out it wasn't a carry at all. Sawyer Robertson, the Mississippi State transfer, into the football game for Baylor. His first play is a handoff. And Richardson running through the Texas State defense. Coach Jeff Grimes says, hey, he'd rather run over you than run around you, and we saw it right there. Punishing run.
That's a fantastic job. Set it up, cut back. It's an inside zone, but when you run the zone, you set the running back up for the field division out to the left. And it's a beautiful job there. Good blocking up front by the Baylor Bears.
Sawyer Robertson calling the signals. The Texas State Player of the Year. Went to Mississippi State, transferred back to Texas from Lubbock. And Sam Latham with a big stop on Richardson.
Yeah, there he is. He's got all the measurables that you want. You know, from a physical standpoint, now you're asking him to come in relief duty and see if he can bring his team back. That's so tough to do. You've been sitting for basically 2.5 quarters. Now you've got to come in, get up to speed, and read in real time and make the right decisions.
High snap, pulls it down. Nowhere to go for Reese. Swallowed up by Sam Latham and friends.
Yeah, and this is all about this defense. They don't believe that Sawyer Roberts is going to put the ball up in the air, so they're keying on these running backs. They're pinning their ears, Pete, and getting in the backfield. I want to hear some moans and groans if they hand off here for a third straight time on 3rd and 13. You're going to hear these fans really start to give their opinion.
Robertson staring into the eyes of the Bobcat defense. Presley trying to make it happen. Knocks off the helmet of Joshua Eaton, but Eaton still brings him down. That'll bring up 4th and long.
Yeah, they're just trying to protect Sawyer Robertson. Trying to protect him, not trying to put too much on his plate right now, but looks like they may go for it here on 4th and long.
You'd have to imagine the transfer will be looking down the field. 4 wide receiver set. Baldwin in motion. Robertson airs it out down the left side. Stretching out to make the big play is Hal Presley. Flag is down. Let's see what it is. 33 yards in the meantime, LD.
Hey, this is how they started the game in the first half. Their first drive of the game. Hal Presley made a acrobatic catch one-on-one, just like that, Pete. And if this play stands, which I think it will, it's going to be a defensive pass interference.
Defense, number 13. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Hey, and these defensive backs with the 2-touchdown cushion can be overly aggressive. And there you are. You see it right there with the hand on the back, tucking the jersey. And how about the concentration from Hal Presley to pull that thing in?
Chapin hangs on to it. Nowhere to go. On top of him is Caleb Coleman.
Just a veteran group of guys. You just got guys that have seen a lot of football. Here it is. He plays it both. His assignment is outside contained. Well, he sees the quarterback pull it. That's an easy play from his safety position. Caleb Coleman is a versatile guy that in most defenses, he's a safety, but you can bring him up and run support and be that extra guy in the box.
Well, we talked about Caleb Coleman. Tavian Coleman is right now on the ground, quite possibly bitten by the cramp dog once again. So a 14-point advantage for Texas State. You see Coleman getting some liquids. 2:56 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, that cramp hurt. You see him jump right there. That's that one that you better be careful. That could turn into a full body cramp real quick.
Now, I know when you and I were a little younger, I'm aging us a little bit, but if a guy went down on the practice field, you take him to the hospital sometimes to get an IV. Yeah. Now, they have him ready and able on the sideline.
Yeah, they got that. You pull that tent, they go over there, and they get that IV real quick. And some of these big boys, they may have to take 2 bags. And that's not fun. I've been there. I've had them full body cramps. It is Texas heat. You're practicing. You can't drink enough. And once you start to get thirsty in this game, it's too late. You can't drink enough, so yeah, you need that IV to help you get a boost back.
Coach Aranda, been in Texas for 4 years, in his 4th with Baylor. Coach GJ Kinne, Texas native, back in Texas, coaching for Texas State. The motto for them, take back Texas. Bobcats, so far so good tonight on that. Richardson spinning towards more yardage.
Oh, that's really good. That's a really good run, Pete. This play probably should have been stopped for about a 2-yard gain. And now Richardson gets up a little gimpy. Here it is, little inside zone. Defense reads it pretty good. That's Ratcliffe. He's the first guy there. He can't hold on, but the second and third effort by Richards gets that extra yards.
Third and goal. Flags are down.
Timeout Baylor. They're first of the half. Timeout on the field.
So the Bears spend their first timeout of the second half. They are on the move now. We'll be back.
Well, Pete, when your offense absolutely needs the boost that they need, the offensive line says, I got you. And they said, I'm going to get you there. Look at the big fella, Clark Barrington, saying, I got you, brother, and tosses his running back forward. It's outstanding. Hey, you put that in the playbook.
Barrington making his 38th consecutive start. Offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes called him the alpha in the room. No doubt about it there. The alpha on the field. Reverse. Dabney gonna throw it to Sawyer Robertson over his head.
He probably could have ran it. He could have ran it. That's the old Philly special play. Like I said, the play is designed one way, but you're a player. You got to play the game. He didn't need to throw it. He could have easily made that and turned Sawyer Robertson into a blocker for any kind of incoming traffic. That's a missed one there. They needed 7 or 6, I should say. Now they're going to have to settle for a field goal. 3.
24-yard attempt. Splits the uprights and trims the lead to 11. Again, though, a nice stand in the red zone by this Bobcat defense. That's the third one we've seen tonight, LD.
And it's been big time. And there's not many times when you have a play like the Philly special drawn up, you're only going to show it once, so you better make it count. Look at all that space. You see that, Pete? All that space, and the only defender is at the Y and the L in Baylor, and then he had a trailing defender at the end. But by then, I don't think Alonzo Edwards Jr. would have caught Dabney from behind there. That's a miss one there. That's a big one.
And Blake Shapen throwing around the football, trying to loosen up. There is tape on that left knee. Then there is a brace on top of the tape, and then we have more tape on top of the brace.
They have to have him. He's the one constant that can make it when defense load up in the box. He has the ability to pass. We've seen it in flashes tonight, and they need him healthy. That was part of coming into this season. We knew they were going to try to run the ball. We knew their defense was going to be better. They had some new guys, obviously. They're struggling a little bit tonight, but Shapen was the constant. 2,700 plus yards last season. Need him healthy.
And Baylor needs to stop here. Back deep to receive for the Bobcats. Mahadi and Wilson.
Well, can this offense keep going? They have answered every single question so far. Now they had their first turnover of the game. That was huge. That gave 3 points to Baylor. But you mentioned it, the defense again, short field, holding them to 3 points. That is critical. They've done that a few times here. Now this offense gets another crack at it.
TJ Finley, the Auburn transfer from Ponchatoula, Louisiana. That's 4 wide receivers. 18 of 26 on the night, 226 yards and 2 touchdowns. Underneath for Calvin Hill, who was stopped by 3 Baylor defenders, but not before a sizable gain.
Now, he had what he wanted on the perimeter. Ashton Hawkins had a step on the vertical on the outside. But there's nothing wrong with taking a profit and checking it down. You will never go broke taking a profit as a quarterback, checking it down, keeping the chains moving, and taking time off the clock. Now you're in that kind of mode of the game where you do what you do, but you be efficient and run the clock down.
Finley has shown moxie all game. Throws a dart down the field, and there's Hobart again, rolling to another 20-plus yard reception.
Wow, that might be his best throw. That's an NFL throw. That deep crossing across the middle, 20-plus yards, whatever you want in that range, 15 to 25-yard range on a rope, low and away. The pinpoint accuracy of that, because the coverage is good, Pete. That's what I'm saying. The passing is off the charts. This kid is sensational.
29 yards officially on that one. 5th catch of the afternoon or evening for Hobart.
Yeah, there it is. They're showing you that read option look, just trying to make this defense not forget about it.
And that should do it for the 3rd quarter. TJ Finley, the knock on him when he played at LSU and Auburn was that, hey, he's not decisive enough. Well, Coach Kinne told us he has been nothing but decisive in camp. And he has his team up 11 as we head into the final frame. We'll step aside with 4th quarter action coming up. Texas State 35, Baylor on the ropes with 24. Back to action here in Waco, Texas. There is Blake Shapen. You see him start the game with that sleeve on his leg. And then we have a wrap, and then we see more pressure, a little more pain, and now that gimpy left leg has tape, a brace, and more tape. Interesting to see if he can make it back onto the field as Cole Wilson makes it to the sticks. Another first down for the Bobcats.
I just want to say, that's another great throw by Finley. You had an underneath cutter, defensive player underneath that throw, and that's a deep out route, but that ball had so much velocity and it's so much accuracy, nothing the defense could do there.
Short gain for Calvin Hill.
Really like what Mac Leftwich has done tonight. Stay committed to the run game. You know, they've shown you that they like to go vertical. They have the weapons, they have the quarterback that they can exploit and attack a defense at any point on the field. But credit to Mac Leftwich to make the defense play everything. Honor the running game, keep running in there, even if you've got some dirty runs.
Speaking of dirty, Joe Dirt, Joey Hobart.
Oh.
You can hear him all the way in San Marcos. 26-yard touchdown and a big smile for the first-year head coach at Texas State.
They have the vertical passing game just about any time that they want it. And these receivers have been a nightmare for this secondary. Now you can pound that with the fact with the quarterback that is having one of the best debuts that you could possibly have in the Big 12. I mean, it's fun to watch. I mean, this offense is going to be, it's a problem tonight, we know, but it's going to be a problem for whoever they play the rest of the season, especially in that Sun Belt Conference.
Last year, at Incarnate Word, Kinne and his offense averaged 51 points a game. Tonight, 41. And there is Finley, who was 4 of 4 on the drive for 72 yards. And there is Joey Hobart. Nice work, Danielson. TJ Finley and Joey Hobart showing out today for the Bobcats. Finley, a forgotten man in big-time college football. Stops at LSU and Auburn, and a splash today in Waco. And there is Joey Hobart having a lot of fun. 6 catches, 105 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah, he's having a night, and rightfully so. He should be proud and having fun doing it as well.
Gordon loses the kick.
Pete, take a look at this. This is all set up by alignment. Look at all the space between the 20 and the 10-yard line. Now, the inside receiver has the advantage. The defensive back doesn't know if he's going inside or outside, but the receiver knows, hey, I've got all this room to the back right. I'm going to set him up inside, and then I'm gone. Right here, the quarterback is licking his chops. He's like, I can put this ball anywhere because I know my guy is going to go get it. That's the receiver, that's the quarterback on the same page, and that didn't start in this week. That started as soon as these guys got on campus.
Blake Shapen back in the football game. Has time, fires under pressure. There's Monterey Baldwin trying to break free across midfield. Ushered out of bounds. Exactly what Baylor needed. 32-yard gain.
Yeah, that's another good throw by Shapen. If they can keep him upright, they've got some chances here in the passing game, and I know they didn't want to get one-dimensional, but it's almost time to get one-dimensional because now you need points, and time is not on your side.
Shapen with the gimpy left knee, going to try to do his best Willis Reed impression. Tosses to Reese, thrown down at the 45.
These guys are selling out, Pete, on defense. That play should have been a 5-6 yard gain. But Dan Foster Jr., he didn't make the play, but he showed himself. He flashed across the running back's face, and it spooked him, and so he cut back. But here comes the rest of the defense for barely even a yard gain. That's outstanding team defense.
They have been swarming to the football all night long. 2nd and 9, pistol formation. Give to Richardson. Nice through the defense to positive yards. So what do you do here on third down?
Well, it's the gift and the poison almost, because if you rear back and try to throw this ball, you know some kind of pressure look is coming from Jonathan Packey's defense. So you got to make sure you're protecting up front. I like the middle of the field. If I see too high safety like they are right now, you've got to go in the middle of the field with this football.
Shapen agrees. Jackson did not hang on to it. Tried for the shoestring catch. Joshua Eaton in coverage.
Man, you got to complete that. That's there. And this is where you almost think Shapen can't step into that throw. That's defensive generated, right? You got people at his feet, you know, the uncertainty and the follow through of the ball.
Ben Bell bearing down on that last play, and we see Coach Kinne signaling for timeout.
That's a good timeout, man, because they were beat. They had an uncovered receiver down, hit the bottom. Coach Kinne, still athletic, ran in front of the official, made that timeout.
Not too long since his playing career ended in 2016. The guy threw for 9,000 yards at Tulsa. Let's see what his team can throw at Baylor when we come back. 42-24. Bobcats lead coming down the stretch. Some signs of life here at McLean Stadium, with Baylor down by 18 and a pivotal fourth down coming.
Okay, these receivers got to get at least to the 35-yard line in case that football brings them back a yard. But the yard to make is the 36-yard line. Is he going to have time, Pete, to stand back there and get this ball out?
4 wide receivers.
There you go. They're looking at this defense kind of bail out. Now he's changing the play, anticipating zone coverage here.
Has time on the gimpy left knee. Rolls to his left. Fires a dart. Right between the numbers. Dabney with a big catch. 22-yard gain.
Yeah, that's just a great job by Shapen. The mobility limited now, but it keeps his eyes upfield. Good quarterbacks can just find a way to get to an opening spot, keep their eyes up, and deliver a strike.
Quick toss. Richardson hits the corner and is flipped upside down by the Bobcat defense.
Staying committed to the run. In the fourth quarter, you're down 42-24. I respect that. You got to go, though, because now you got to think this offense on the other side of the field is not going to hold up. So we got to go. We got to get these points quick now.
Here comes the rush. Shapen off of his back foot. Time for Eaton to close on that one. Nice play by the transfer from Oklahoma.
Here comes the pressure. They're deciding to heat him up. Here it is. They're bringing everybody here. It's picked up actually pretty good. This is the first time they picked up the blitz to where Shapen actually had room to throw, but it's such a difficult pass from the opposite hash mark peak to the opposite number. That's a tough, long throw. The coverage was there by Eaton.
And you see Josh Eaton, free safety Sean Holton says he thinks he's the best player on the field, and he loves man-to-man. He says, hey, leave me alone out here on the island, showing some of that confidence there. Shapen again off his back foot, but again to Dabney. Another first down for Baylor. The drive continues.
Yeah, that's always the security blanket of a quarterback, is the tight end in the middle of the field. Easy read. It's right in front of you. You don't have to do anything in there. That's that last little flinch right at the end of that. Shapen in tough shape here.
Gritty performance for Blake Shapen. Dominique Ratcliffe on the turf. Well, we talked about Texas State and their up-tempo offense and some of their transfers. But one guy, one of those 53 transfers, this young man, Joey Hobart. Wow. OBJ, look out.
Man, I'm telling you, reaching back like 1-3 on that one, and he fires up and he's electric. But I love the fact that these little short intermediate routes, he knows how to get his positioning with his body. He sets up one route with the next route, coming up, and there he is having a party on the sideline. If you got 6 catches for 105 and a touchdown against the Baylor Bears in their building, you got room to party on the sideline.
So Craig Stutzman, the wide receivers coach for Texas State, was at Utah Tech with Hobart last season. Coach Mark Lepwich and GJ Kinne, they say, hey, Craig, come on over, coach for us, coach our wide receivers. And Stutzman says, yeah, I'm bringing this guy with me.
I mean, he's something else, but the whole group, Pete, the whole wide receiving crew tonight has been almost unguardable tonight.
Chapin underneath to Presley. Inside the 5-yard line. Gang tackle from the Bobcats.
Good throw, good route. Little delayed route coming into the middle of the field. You don't want to go all the way across into the teeth of the defense when you run that route. It's a good job there by Hal Presley.
Up the gut. Boy, has this Texas State defensive line stood the test tonight.
And they're platooning guys in. And that time it's Christian Rory, I'm sorry. I'll get it right in a minute.
3rd time's a charm.
You know, Pete.
Me too, pal.
But they're just platooning guys in here, and so you got fresh body after fresh body, and they're just winning the point of contact on the line of scrimmage.
There is a flag down, and it is picked up, waved off, no penalty. The 11th play of the drive. Chapin under serious pressure. Pass intended for Johnson, and he was banged around before the completion, or excuse me, before the pass fell incomplete. No penalty.
That was a dangerous pass. Very dangerous. You know, I haven't seen a defense in a long time, and it's almost like they're in the huddle. They anticipate every tendency that's coming along. Here it is. You see the cornerback? That was a little early, wasn't it?
That's our friend Joshua Eaton, Houston, Texas native, 3 years at Oklahoma. Has some swagger. May have dodged a bullet there. Chapin lofts one into the end zone. Jackson climbs the ladder. No go. Chris Mills, the twitchy cornerback, knocks it away.
Yeah, it's so tough against these cornerbacks because they're so aggressive, and we got a flag down. These 50-50 balls are not typically 50-50 balls tonight. These defensive backs in perfect position tonight.
We've got a roughing the passer penalty. Dan Foster with that left arm, bit of a clothesline.
To come away with points here, and I'm talking about the touchdown. Cannot afford to try to kick another field goal and tack on 3 more points. This has got to be in the end zone.
3-score game as it is. Baylor can ill afford nothing but a touchdown here. Dominic Richardson, the bell cow today, bangs his way inside the 5 to the 3.
They go. They're changing the personnel out. And another tight end to the game, and then they've got another fullback / H-back personnel into the game, going a little bit bigger. And here comes Texas State. They counter by bringing another defensive lineman in, and then an extra linebacker in the game.
And you see that up back. That is tight end Gavin Yates. Faking the pitch. Chapin to the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Dabney.
That's a pretty play. This is a staple in this offense. You get big, you get in 3 tight ends, you bring in an extra tight end as an up-back or a fullback in this case. You fake the run action one way on a naked bootleg, And the quarterback with one bad wheel still has the mobility, Pete, to find his guy in the back of the end zone.
Second touchdown for tight end Dabney. 6 yards and 101 yards. Blake Shapen back off the bench, nursing that left knee. Showing all the fight to get Baylor back in this one. Well, the Baylor Bears and their cheer squad trying to breathe a little bit of life back into their effort tonight. They are closing the gap, down by 11 after the big touchdown by Dabney, but check it out. The Texas State sideline, these guys have so much confidence. I mean, LD, they are playing like bandits.
And that allows you to play free, and that allows you to say, hey, it's us against the world, and we do not care who we're playing against. And you've got a group of guys that believe in one another. Good things can happen, especially on the road.
And right on cue, excuse me, off your screen, a little bit of a skirmish there. You just saw GJ Kinne, 34 years old, coaching his 14th game as a college football head coach, and thanks to this young man, TJ Finley, who has, oh, by the way, engineered 6 possessions. Recently, 5 of them have been TDs, LD. Texas State is white hot. Hill once again stuffed by Matt Jones and the Baylor defense.
Yeah, that's a little bit better job there. You see some activity from the safeties. Alfonso Allen, number 12 in your screen. He's one of these strong safety types that can play in the box, and they didn't have enough of that in this game so far. That's the first time in a long time this offense has been off schedule. They've always had a second and favorable 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5. This is the first time in a long time, 2nd and 10.
Motion from Hawkins. The give once again to Calvin Hill. 18th carry of the game for Hill. Stopped by Trey Wilson.
Well, here it is. This defense got to find a way to get off the field. They've got to keep these guys in check. These receivers have a lot of space to operate. Look at this cushion at the bottom here.
TJ Finley. Flag is down, and so is the big fella. Ball also loose. Finley falls on it. And let's sort it out. The ruling on the field is a fumble recovery by the quarterback, Finley.
Holding. Offense, number 74. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So that's exactly what you needed.
Yeah,
if you were Baylor.
Here it is. And this tends to happen when the quarterback extends the play. The offensive lineman, the tendency is to hold, and if there's one knock on TJ Finley, he gets outside of the pocket in traffic, that ball security is a little bit loose. And I'm sure Coach Kinne will coach that out of him after tonight for sure. But they're going to have to punt the ball away here.
Just the 2nd punt of the night for Texas State and Seamus O'Kelly.
That's pretty.
Josh Cameron drifts back to the 26-yard line and is quickly wrapped up.
Now look at that sideline at Texas State. It's the little things. It's special teams. It's going down there and covering kicks.
Flag on the field. If it stands, it was a 53-yard punt with a 4-yard return. You are looking at referee David Alvarez directing traffic down on the field.
Running into the kicker. Defense, number 7. That penalty is declined. 1st down, Baylor.
So Bryson Jackson runs into the kicker, but it's such a good punt and such a short return. GJ Kinne says, hey, we'll take it. And that is the big right leg of Seamus O'Kelly. Knocked to the turf. He's a Ray Guy watch list punter. Played Australian rules football, so he's nobody to mess with.
I mean, you keep kicking it like that. I mean, that thing was at a tight spiral.
We're not going to let you go back to Australia.
No.
So here is Blake Shapen. If you're just joining us, was knocked out of the game earlier. You see that left knee wrapped. He is back. Another gritty performance for him. Hit as he throws. And boy, he was decked. Caleb Culp almost coming up with the interception. Pass was intended for Jackson.
This defensive line is relentless. And if you want to play college football, you got to stand in there and play quarterback and take hits like this.
From Terry Webb, 6'3", 305.
This defensive line has been dominating. And here it is on the back end. When the quarterback gets hit, that ball hangs up and almost an INT. You're going to have to start throwing here a little bit. I'm not so sure this offensive line can protect long enough for these routes to develop.
And they can't defend the run either. A party in the backfield. Washington and Coleman. The Baylor offensive line lost 22 starts over the course of the last season. 22 years of experience. And that is the 8th tackle for loss for Texas State. Growing pains showing up front for the Bears.
Now this defense last year, the defense coordinator Packey at UIW led the FCS in tackle for loss. And so that trend continues here at Texas State.
Shapen back to the wall. Intended for Dabney, peeling himself off the turf once again.
And it's just not their game. When they have to pass every single down, or I should say, when the defense knows you have to throw, that should have been a hold there on the offensive lineman. 53, Campbell Barrington, he is trying to fight with everything he has. But this offense is designed to run, play action. They're not designed to throw vertically downfield on every play.
And they're going to go on 4th and 13. Shapen against pressure once again. Rolling to a possible first down is Jonah Burton, the walk-on with a big grab.
That's one of the best plays you'll see a quarterback can make. In that situation, under duress, he gets popped in his face and throws an absolute strike downfield.
Blake Shapen hurrying to the line, trying to get it off before a review. Did not get it done quick enough.
Moving around the field was a completed pass.
So replay official Richard Brown will take a look at this.
I just hope they give it to him because Blake Shapen has taken a pounding. He took a pounding on that last throw he made, and he deserves something for that, man. You got to have courage to play quarterback, but he just took it to another level. Staring down the barrel of a defender in your face with the blitz and throwing a pass like that. That's incredible, man. That's hard to coach.
And moments ago, you saw the big OC, Jeff Grimes, put his arm around Shapen, and then Aranda did the same.
Here it is. Let's take a look. Pass is up.
I think you give it to him.
Yeah, I think so too. Hard to turn that over.
Would be Burton's 4th reception.
That's a great job by Burton. You got a defender. You got him trailing. That pass was not easy to handle. He had to go down. Those are the toughest passes to catch when you, as a receiver, going down and trying to make sure you take it off the top of the turf.
So they talk it over after the acrobatic effort by the 5'11", 203-pound Jonah Burton.
Yeah, this is going to be a good look here. He catches it there, protects it all the way down. I think that's first down Baylor.
I would have to agree. And there is Shapen, bandaged and bloodied, waiting on the word from the replay official.
Yeah, they got to figure out something on this offensive line. It's a long season. They got Utah coming in here right after this. Utah nationally ranked. They took care of Florida this week. And so this offensive line, first of all, they got to figure out tonight. Still a lot of time left. But, man, they got some work to do.
And if you look into that huddle, you see Sawyer Robertson. Just off camera moments ago, you saw Blake Shapen hobbling around on the sideline with his helmet off. And that might have been the conversation Dave Aranda just had with him. Said, hey, you've given it all you have. You are too banged up to continue. Right. We're going to go with the other guy.
Here it is. Watch him stand in here. You know you're about to get popped.
After further review, the running on the field stands of a catch.
And that looked like a possible targeting by Jordan Revels. So it was a catch. Shapen will stay on the sidelines.
This kid's got some guts. He is a warrior. Make no mistake about that.
But for now, it's the Sawyer Robertson show. If Baylor's going to get back into this one, the Mississippi State transfer will have to cash in. Robertson back to throw. Lofts it over the middle. Another catch for Burton. So the drive continues. 19-yard gain.
Yeah, Pete, this is a great job. Offensive line did their job. They protected long enough for this route to develop. This is a long developing route concept. Burton came all the way across the formation. Watch at the bottom of the screen. You see him right there take off. It takes time for development there. Good throw, good catch.
Robertson. Tavian Coleman makes quick work of that one.
Yeah, just too much. Just too much pressure. Just too many guys winning their one-on-one battles up front. And they get home with the big boys. They send a blitz. But the big boys, the interior defensive linemen, are getting home now.
Loss of 10. Robertson trying to pick up the pieces, looking for Cameron. In and out of the hands. Right there in coverage was Mills.
You just got to make that play. Great coverage. These defensive backs not giving up an inch. They are in the grill of these receivers, and these receivers have got to get physical back with them. They've got to use every single tactic possible and get that separation and snag those passes out of the air.
3rd and 20. Do you go for a chunk here and then try to get it on 4th? Or
I think you need to get back to the original line of scrimmage, if anything, to have a chance for 4th down.
Robertson, former Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Texas, showing out back in the Lone Star State. From the transfer, Keytron Jackson, 1st down in the red zone. Baylor's rolling, 31-yard gain.
Boy, you just dial up a big gain like that, and it's all good.
And we have a player down.
For an injury to a defensive player.
Brian Holloway, Captain America. Transfer from SMU, has earned the right to wear that number 0. Right now, looking for some fluids.
Yeah, I think the Texas State Bobcats have won the cramp title tonight.
Coach Kinne had his team in full pads on Tuesday. Pads popping, apparently. And Baylor practicing from 4 to 6 every afternoon here in Central Texas. Both of these teams doing all they can to get ready for a night like this. But really, what can you do?
I don't think there's too much you can do now. You know, at the high school level in the state of Texas, what they've done is now practice in the mornings, and they've kind of switched that schedule. Well, that's a little bit different at the college level because you only have so much during the week that you can practice. Obviously, the NCAA, they have their rules, how many times you can practice for that. There's not much you can do because the peak time in Texas is between 4 and 6. That's peak time. That's when it's the hottest. So you just had to be smart about it. Obviously, these schools now have inside facilities you can practice. I know back in the day, you know, when I played, we'd go practice in the gym. We line up with air conditioning and get reps, mental reps, walkthroughs inside an air-conditioned gym.
And you see the hat on first-year coach GJ Kinne. It says, "Take back Texas." And they are trying to do that. Had Texas high school football coaches at practice this week. They are digging back in to the Texas recruiting game. So far, so good tonight for any recruit watching. Robertson lofts it down the left side. Presley is there. Outstretched left arm, incomplete. In coverage is Mills, the Missouri transfer. No flags.
Yeah, these officials letting them play. A lot of contact. Contact well beyond the line of scrimmage. You know, inside that little 3 to 4 5 halo, they let a lot going, but downfield, here it is. Watch two guys going at it, and they lock in. They both have each other. Could it easily been called defensive pass interference? Probably should have been called, but they're letting them play on the outside.
Oh, off the hand of Presley. Did Mills grab it? No. He had a shot at a pick six there, LD.
I would have liked to seen this pass completed. He catches this pass, he scores. He's got an escort. Look at all the big bodies, and yeah, you're right, it almost got picked off. But if Presley can catch this pass, he's got a seam with blockers, and there's nobody home on that play.
3rd and 10. Torrey Spears, one of the holdovers from Texas State, on a knee.
Man, these guys here are struggling.
Spears a real leader off the field.
And they're deep. They're deep in that secondary. They've got some guys that can absolutely play on that back end. I think these two corners, again, they're going to be solid. They're going to be all conference players in the Sun Belt. I believe that. Now you've got these safeties on the back end. You're looking at Spears there.
So you're a Texas guy. We're 3 hours and 30 minutes into this game. Who does the heat and this dehydration we're seeing, who has advantage there?
It's the team that took the conditioning seriously, because there are a lot of teams that find a way to, okay, if you guys run this one hard, we'll take the next one off. No, the team that says, hey, we're going to run all 2,100 yards of these sprints, that's the team that's going to survive in the fourth quarter.
Still 90 plus right now. Jackson leans back to grab it. Stiff arm inside the 5. Caleb Culp on the tackle. 6'3", 208. Ketron Jackson, 12-yard gain.
And that's how you got to utilize him. He's got that big body. Give him a chance to make some grabs in space on a smaller defensive back. Good things can happen.
Robertson in a groove. Out of the reach of Baldwin. Intercepted. Right there to catch it was Sean Holton.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
Second consecutive pass that Robertson threw behind a receiver. He paid for that one dearly.
Yeah, he did. Here it is. He has him open. Just give him a ball he can handle. Ooh. Did he hit on the ground?
They're going to have to look at this one again. There is Holton. Another transfer from UIW. Texas State. 42-31. We'll step aside.
Justin Wilman. Sorry. As a magician, it's my job to make you believe that what you're seeing is real. Hey, do you want to see something cool? Sure. What the? How'd you do that?
That's amazing. Or is it just an illusion? Only one way to find out. Try it for yourself.
The Baylor story is one of the greatest stories ever written in the history of college athletics. And now you can experience that story like never before with Baylor Plus. Baylor Plus is the home for Baylor fans everywhere. Experience stories new and old, untold and retold.
Baylor Lady Bears are back at the top of college basketball.
Relive the greatest moments in Baylor athletics history.
Throwing for the end zone. Touchdown! Gone! Oh my goodness! Trying to get to the corner. He didn't get there.
Congratulations, Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears, the national champions.
Go behind closed doors like never before and experience exclusive access with your favorite coaches and student athletes.
They can't out
thought summer was one of the better summers that our guys have had.
Enjoy an on-demand library of premium content designed specifically for you, the Baylor fan. Baylor Plus is coming this fall.
Back to McLean Stadium. Most of the Baylor fans been sitting on their hands, but thanks to the Texas State defense, that's why. Let's take a look at this defense and why they have really shut Baylor down all night long, LD.
Well, this team, this defense set the tone at the very beginning. They brought relentless pressure. If it was 4 guys, if it was 5 guys, even when they brought an all-out blitz, they were able to get back and put pressure on Baylor's offense and make them one-dimensional to where they did not know where the Bobcats were bringing pressure, and this defense has played outstanding in this game tonight. And they've got 3:56 left with their offense with the ball.
GJ Kinne, 34 years of age. Dad played at Baylor, coached at Baylor. He was a Baylor commit. His brother, a Baylor wide receiver on the roster. This one will taste sweet for him. Across the 20 is Calvin Hill.
Yeah, you see right there, Coach Aranda burning a timeout.
Still plenty of time left. Crazy things can happen in college football.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, if you're familiar with the Baylor program, this is a bit of deja vu. 6 years ago, in their opener against Liberty, the beginning of the Matt Rule era, they dropped a devastating loss at home. And this feels the same way. You know, you're deep into the fourth quarter, fans kind of scattered, not exactly what Coach Aranda had in mind.
You got to remember, this team not too long ago was the Big 12 champs. This program is built to win championships, and that just makes it even more spectacular in a short amount of time what Texas State has done. And the hopes are certainly high here. I think this is a wide open Big 12 when you go after the first 2 top teams. Texas we talked about Kansas State. You might as well throw OU in there too, but it's wide open. And why not the Baylor Bears? They're built for this. Right now, they just have not played well defensively tonight.
Tevin Williams puts the stops on TJ Finley, who slides close to a first down.
Yeah, Mac Leftwich has that in his back pocket. Anytime he wants to pull it, the read option, you tell the quarterback to keep it, and the defense is not ready for it, and it picks up some nice yardage. Now they've got a 3rd and manageable here. They've been great all night.
Baylor burns their last time out. And there's Coach quarterback Blake Shapen. As we look at the upcoming schedule, Big 12 now football next Saturday. BYU, new addition to the Big 12. You see Duquesne in West Virginia and Nichols against TCU. A devastating loss earlier this afternoon. Baylor has no more timeouts. Finley hangs on to it. Cooper lands on the stop.
Yeah, it's a good decision. You didn't put the ball in the air. You didn't get the first down, but you keep the clock running. That's all you want to do.
Fourth and 1 coming up.
They're going to let this play clock run down. Coach Kinne's going to burn a timeout here.
And there is Coach Dave Aranda. LD, how seismic is this? What we're looking at here is almost a sure thing of an upset for the Baylor football program.
I can tell you right now, I'm getting a bunch of texts saying, is this score right? You know, that's what I'm saying. So I think this is huge. I think this is fantastic in a sense for Texas State and where they've been. But for Baylor, you know, let's be honest. They were the heavy favorites in this game. They were supposed to come out here, flex their muscles, and get ready for Utah that comes in here in the next game. And if the score remains well, this is going to send shockwaves across certainly this state, even more importantly around the Big 12. But I'm telling you what, nationally, this is going to get some attention too.
Inside of 3 minutes, Seamus O'Kelly gives it another ride.
That's another nice kick. That's a really good kick.
The Australian native with a 43-yard boom.
Well, he's hitting that sweet spot too, and these punts, that ball is just exploding off his foot. Got to do it here. Got to get going.
What do you do if you're Coach Dave Aranda? I mean, what can you do if you're offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes?
Well, now you're under 3 minutes. You almost have to abandon this running game because you don't have any more timeouts. So now you've got to be methodical. I don't think you need to get in a hurry, but now you've got to be efficient getting the plays in and out of the huddle.
Robertson wide open over the middle is Burton. Another grab. He is chopped down. 16-yard gain. Kenny Haynes on the stop.
Tell you what, Pete, this offensive line is having a time protecting.
And that is Tavian Coleman.
Man, he was the guy applying pressure on this last play. He and Terry Webb, they have been two-man wrecking crew in the middle of this defense. Boy, they cannot get the cramps out of the big fella tonight. I'm feeling for the guy.
Hoping all is well.
Man, this guy is playing all out, and he just can't seem to. Yeah, they're working on him pretty good.
An outstanding effort by the Texas State defense.
Well, they wanted to be aggressive. They wanted to create tackles for loss, wanted to get some sacks, and they've gotten turnovers. That's the MO of this defense, and the way they do it. You know, again, Coach Packey underneath that Manny Diaz coaching tree. Manny Diaz for years has been one of the most aggressive defensive play callers in the history of college football. He blitzes every play if you allowed him to do it. They haven't done that tonight, but you're starting to see some of those nuances of that. They bring pressure in a variety of different looks, and that has confused the protection for the Bears tonight.
Yeah, Packey spending 8 years underneath Diaz. Learned a lot. One of the biggest things he learned, communicating and breaking through to athletes. His team breaking through tonight. Robertson. Knocked down by Haynes.
That's a good job by Haynes. They only rushed 4 this time, Pete, and then they decide to play a little coverage back in. So you've got 7 eligible coverage guys in the back, including the linebackers in the secondary. And it's a tough throw there to try to fit it in the hole.
You know, under all this pressure tonight, the Baylor quarterbacks have combined for 64% from 2 touchdowns. Texas State making the big plays when they have to. Robertson out of the pocket. Baldwin through his hands.
Probably could have ran that one. Probably could have gotten the first down. That's all you kind of want to do here. Get these first downs, keep this chains moving, and you pick up the chunk yardage. That play there, easily he could have ran for the first down, probably a little bit more than that. Here it is. Watch all this open field. You've got the receivers. It's a good route here by the receiver, first and foremost. He's dragging across. He's open. Got to make that catch, too.
3rd and 10, 2:19 left. Robertson under pressure. Finds his way out of the pocket. Across the first down marker. Ball's knocked out of his hands. Caleb Culp recovers it. second big turnover, let's say back-breaking turnover on consecutive drives for the Bears. That should just about do it.
Well, you can't fault the young man for trying to make a play, and he knew the play before. He probably should have ran it, and he runs it here, makes a good decision, but the ball security is there. And P, by now, we know this defense is ball hawking. They see that football, they go for it. They're not necessarily trying to tackle. Here it is, he's out in the open field. Watch this paw come in right there, punch it out. That's textbook. That's what you're taught to do. Holton coming in, punching the ball out. You can roll a clinic with that play right there and just have it on repeat to teach some of these young defensive backs what to do if you're in the open field with the ball carrier.
Another look. Sean Holton just had the interception on the last possession and forces the turnover again there, nullifying a 32-yard gain. Sawyer Robertson, in his first game as a Baylor Bear, probably would have hoped it could have gone differently. GJ Kinne, this week he said, hey, we're going to go in there and shock the world.
Yeah.
Hey, consider us shocked.
They're shocking it. I'm telling you, they're shocking it right now. I mean, this is. But in all honesty, you and I kind of talked before the game. We kind of felt it was going to be close. I kind of thought, just because of what we know of Coach Kinne, what he's bringing to his program, the offense that's being installed. There's no tape out there with this group. There's no tape of them, right? And so you only have to go off of what was done at UIW with different personnel. So how do you game plan for that? You cannot game plan for that in 1 week, and you definitely can't game plan in the game because they're showing you things that you haven't seen. You don't know what a personnel grouping can do, and they never figured it out. And that's why they got 42 points on the board.
Well, score one for the transfers. Colorado earlier today, the most transfers in college football. They upset TCU on the road in Fort Worth, and there he is, GJ Kinne. 28-point spread.
I mean, that's
in favor
incredible.
of Baylor.
We talked about it at halftime. The transfer portal, the NIL has leveled the playing field in college football, especially at the FBS level. It has leveled the playing field. This is prime example here because, like you mentioned, Colorado and Texas State going into the buildings as visitors, pulling off these upsets.
Well, you were looking out, Coach Dave Aranda, and you talked about it. We've got Utah coming into McLean Stadium next Saturday. How does Baylor rebound and pick up the pieces after this devastating loss?
I think that's the best thing that could happen for them. I really do, because yeah, you lose this game, everybody's going to be against you now. You better figure it out real quick because Utah is not going to play around. You go and you hold your ground here at home and find a way to win that game, nobody's going to worry about this game this week. Now you're going to get ready for the Big 12, and all is good.
All is good in San Marcos. GJ Kinne and TJ Finley. The 1-2 punch. And Blake Shapen heads off the field with a limp and a loss. LD. This was the unexpected tonight, but Coach Kinne, again, he said we're going to shock the world. What did you see tonight that just jumped out at you that enabled Texas State to pull off this dramatic upset?
I think we talked about it a few times. When you have that swagger, when you have that confidence that you don't care where you are, you just want to play ball, and you're going to go out there and execute, and you believe the guy next to you is going to pick you up, and you don't care who you're playing against, that's what I saw. Texas State was the aggressors tonight, and they went out there and attacked, and they proved to come out of here tonight with a big road win against Baylor.
Texas State, their first win in school history against Baylor. All that separates these two schools is 2 hours and 145 miles. And tonight, 11 points. For LD McLean and the rest of our staff, I'm Pete Souza, signing off from McLean Stadium. Big time upset for the Bobcats. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks for being with us.